For Boomer Esiason, it has been two heart-stopping weekends. On both Sundays, Esiason and the Bengals were behind going into the fourth quarter. His disappointment underlined by the fact that Esiason had thrown 5 interceptions in 2 games. But when it was on the line, it has also been Boomer Esiason who's led Cincinnati to 2 come-from-behind victories, tossing 5 touchdown passes to carry his team to the top of the AFC Central. Today, Boomer may very well face his toughest challenge yet as he goes against the Bandits from Boston, the defensive secondary of the New England Patriots, the NFL's #1 takeaway defense, a group that's recorded a total of 7 interceptions in just 2 games, 3 against veteran Dan Marino and 4 against rookie Jeff George. Today, the Bandits from Boston will try to short-circuit the high-power offense of the Bengals at Riverfront.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New England Patriots versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
A cool overcast day in Cincinnati as the Patriots and the Bengals are ready to tee it up here at Riverfront Stadium. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy. It's early in the season, but the Cincinnati Bengals are thinking big. The last 2 times they've been off to 2-0 starts, in 1981 and 88, they've gone to the Super Bowl and think they can again. Their opponent today, Trump, New England, is a lot better than people thought they'd be at the outset of the season, but they do have some problems.
Yeah, there's no question that the injury to Steve Grogan last week when it was hit by John Hand is a major injury to the offense. In my personal opinion, Steve Grogan's always had some mystical ability with the New England Patriots to get more out of the players than they really have. So today, Mark Wilson starts, and of course he started the last 4 games of the '89 season. He was 1-3 in those starts, and the absence of Steve Grogan, frankly, Don, has got to hurt this New England offense.
The Bengals off to their 2-0 start, despite the fact that their defense grades out right near the bottom in the NFL. They're 27th overall, but they've got some offensive weapons, not the least of which is the fabulous James Brooks.
Yeah, they've given up the big plays on defense, and they've made big plays on offense, and James Brooks today is a huge key. This entire Bengal offense is based on running the ball, the ability to run the ball, and then get this kid out in the flat with pass receptions. He lines up as a tight end, a fullback, a running back, a wide receiver. That's the big matchup of the day. How is New England going to handle James Brooks?
Well, to short circuit the Cincinnati offense, they've got to get interceptions. The Patriots offense will start the game. They've won the toss, and they'll receive to start it. Back deep now for the New England Patriots, Sammy Martin. That's Martin, 82. Don Overton, rookie, number 29. And Jim Breech, who could have a record-setting day. He's the place kicker. Lee Johnson is the kickoff man. These teams met in the preseason in the 3rd week. The Bengals won in overtime. High kick by Johnson. It drives Martin 8 yards deep, and he'll not bring it out. And so the Patriots will go on offense. 1st and 10 at their 20. And there is the veteran from Brigham Young, Mark Wilson, ready to lead the Patriots on offense. Grogan is dressed. He took a lot of snaps in the warm-ups. Looked like he could go if he had to. But they're starting Mark Wilson. The offensive line key player is Armstrong, a big tackle, and they'll be running a lot behind him. Chilton played very well against Indianapolis at center. Stevens is the key. The Bengal defensive coaches say he figures in almost 60% of their offensive plays. Cedric Jones is the extra wide receiver. He'll join Irving, Fryer, and Hartley Dykes. First down throw down the middle, and it is intercepted. The Bengals pick off the first throw of the game by Mark Wilson. Lewis Billups comes in, and right off the turf, he scoops it up. And so the Bengals strike quickly, and their offense comes out as Mark Wilson's first throw was fateful.
Very inauspicious beginning here for Mark Wilson. Straight drop back. The Bengals showed man-to-man, came back in zone as they go right to the line of scrimmage as the Bengals usually do.
Esiason looking down the middle. He's got Eddie Brown open at the 19-yard line. Brown, the sensational wideout from Miami of Florida, who caught 10 passes for 176 yards in last Sunday's win over San Diego. 2 for touchdowns.
Now, Don, a lot of people misidentify what the Bengals do here. This is not, I repeat, not a hurry-up offense. This is a very deliberate offense, but they want the ability to dictate to the defense what defense they're going to face. And that's why they stay out of the huddle and keep 11 guys out there on the field defensively.
Extra tight ends in the game now. Rodney Holman and Eric Caddis adding additional blocking as the Bengals go 1st and 10. This is their rookie, Harold Green from South Carolina, and the Patriots get him as he tries to go wide. A loss of perhaps a yard on the play as we check out the blocking front of the Cincinnati Bengals, led by the great Anthony Munoz at left tackle. 10 years in the league, all pro every season. Blados, a huge guard. Esiason at quarterback, James Brooks and Green, who was a 2nd-round draft choice. He'll come out on the extra wide receiver set. Kendall Smith and Mike Barber come in to join McGee and Brown.
Now they got James Brooks as a wide receiver here at the bottom of the screen.
On 2nd and 11, Esiason, a quick out. Eddie Brown can't hold the ball at the 14-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 11. Ronnie Lepet was covering for New England. The front 7 for the Patriots. Williams, Goad, and Agnew across the front. Brown, Rembert, Harvey, and Ed Williams start for the injured Andre Tippett. He's out with a leg muscle pull. Lepet and Hurst have been sensational at the corners. James and Marion, the veteran safeties. And they go to the extra DB set. Eric Coleman and rookie Junior Robinson come on the field.
First big 3rd down play for the Bengals here. Of course, the Patriots don't change defensive personnel a lot. I don't think this attack offense really bothers them that much.
Well, they've seen it before. They saw it in the 3rd week of the preseason. Around 3rd down, he needs 11. The rush. Goes Esiason back at the 28-yard line. Tim Goad, the nose tackle, busting right up the middle. And now Jim Breech comes out. He has scored in 151 consecutive games, tying the NFL record set by Fred Cox, formerly of the Vikings. Jim Breech scores with his foot today. He'll establish a new NFL record, 152 games in succession scoring points. 12-year veteran out of Cal Berkeley. He's an excellent golfer, and he says that helps his kicking. He said it's the same motion. Club head and the foot. He drills it. He's through. And so Jim Breech sets the record.
That was a pretty healthy kick for Jim Breech, too. 46 yards.
The Bengals capitalize on the early interception of Wilson. Jim Breech, the new record holder in the NFL. He has just scored in his 152nd straight game. He shared the record with Fred Cox, formerly the Vikings. That field goal gives the Bengals a 3-0 lead.
Certainly reason for celebration there, but it's a missed opportunity for the Bengals. With that field position, this team has struggled, come from behind in the first 2 games. They need 7 points, not 3.
Patriots have had one offensive play, and a throw by Wilson was intercepted by Billups, subsequently turned into points. Now Martin takes it 2 yards deep. Martin breaks ahead to about the 13-yard line.
Boy, Rod Rust can't like the look of his team here at the outset of this football game.
We saw them last week fall behind Indianapolis. They were dominated by the Colts in the first quarter, then gradually took over the game.
Things like this, though, special team bobbles, an interception on the first offensive play, and the head coach is thinking on the sideline, uh-oh, is it going to be one of those days? If you think that, you give it to John Stevens here, because he's the hammer of this New England offense.
Bengal coaches say he's the guy that has it most of the time. He's a wideout in this alignment. They go to Robert Perryman. They show a new formation, and on first down, Perryman, a 235-pound fullback from Michigan, takes it out to the 16-yard line. If you look at the Bengals on defense, McClendon weighs 286 and is very fast. Buck is an undersized defensive end, a good player, but they're going to run at him because of his size differential. White, Xander, Walker, and the rookie James Francis back the line. Carl Carter are the cornerbacks. David Coulter, Wilcox, the free safety. Jones and Dixon will come in as extra defensive backs. 2nd down and 7 for Mark Wilson. He throws. He connects it to Irving Fryer, and Irving Fryer's not done. Cuts back, though, on a good open field tackle by Lewis Billups. First down, New England.
That's the same play they opened the game with and got the interception. The exact same play. So Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, says there's pressure on Wilson up front. 96 is Tua Tagovailoa, but he comes back to reestablish confidence in the quarterback. Shows the same pattern, and this time the receiver makes the catch. 96 Tua Tagovailoa gets around Damian Johnson in his Wilson's face, but he does make the completion.
First down run. John Stevens protecting the ball, and the Bengals swarm to the carrier quickly. Very short gain on the play, gain of about a yard. As we check the 10-minute ticker for the first time, the Bears out in front of the Vikings in the first quarter at Soldier Field. And San Diego up on the Browns at Cleveland. These Bengal coaches, San Diego's off to an 0-2 start, but Trump, the Bengal coaches, as you know, think that San Diego's going to win 10 games. They think they're terrific.
They are a fistful of players. Great pass rush. They might get Bernie Kosar out of the game, much as they harass the quarterback.
Kosar's been sacked 10 times in the first 2 games. And Stevens fighting for yards on a 2nd and 9 carry. Didn't get much as James Francis, a 6'6", 250-pound rookie backer from Baylor, #1 draft choice, number 50, made the stop.
That's also the side that Jason Buck plays. And Jason Buck is a lanky defensive end, number 99. And they feel that Bruce Armstrong, 78, who is the matchup against Buck, can win that battle. That's the spot in tough situations, 3rd and short, they're going to try to fire at. We'll see how Buck handles the pressure for the day.
The extra defenders come in the secondary of the Bengals on 3rd down. And the Patriots need 8. Wilson against a big rush, stands in, hits an open man. It's incomplete to John Stevens.
Took his eye off of it.
So the Patriots will have to punt the ball. Wilson got 1 first down on that possession. The Bengals get it back, and they could have good field position. As a first-year player now drops back for them, Mitchell Price. And there's their punter, Brian Hansen. Punter for the New England Patriots. Mitchell Price, you see his average. Hasn't broken the big one yet. They think he can. Hansen line drive downfield, but it'll take a hop. Takes a New England bounce and goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Cincinnati. So the Bengals will go on offense for the 2nd time, leading 3-0. Back at Riverfront Stadium, the Bengals send out their offense. They go right into alignment from the sideline without a huddle. First down and 10. Cincinnati a 3-0 first quarter leader. Brooks. Reverse. No, Brooks is keeping it. Fake reverse, and James Brooks breaks it out close to the 35-yard line, and a penalty comes in from way off the plate. Trump, the back judge, fired it in.
Yeah, they faked the reverse there, probably setting up a play for some time in the future. Brooks hangs on to it, and New England thinks the penalty is against Cincinnati.
This New England team is hard to assess. They had a brutal preseason. We're 0-4. I tell you, they're pretty good, though. I think on the right day they can beat anybody in the league, and I think they think the same thing.
Yeah, Don, this is an excellent defense. Of course, Andre Tippett is not in the lineup today. He has a pulled hamstring, but the strength of this team is the linebackers, the 4 linebackers. There's Andre Tippett right there in the baseball cap turned around on the back of his head. Pulled hamstring. Not sure how long he'll be out, but with him in there, I don't know that there's a team with 4 better linebackers in the 34 defense.
Number 82 of the offense, illegal block from behind, 10 yards, still first down.
The all-pro tight end Rodney Holman, who's been a Pro Bowl starter the last 2 years. He is called for the illegal hold. And so the Bengals go back to first down, but now they have extended yardage. They'll be 1st and 20 inside their 25-yard line. McGee comes to the near side. Fastest Bengal. Maurice Hurst plays way off him. That's McGee at the bottom of your screen as Caddis at tight end comes in motion. Brooks darts into the middle of the Patriot defense and gets the ball to about the 28-yard line. Brent Williams, number 96, made the stop.
This is a very difficult defense to run against. And James Brooks, of course, with the absence of Ickey Woods, he's pretty much been the running game last year and the beginning of this season. And I think eventually teams are going to catch on that if you stop James Brooks to this point in the season, it looks like you stop the Bengals running game.
Here's Here's Esiason on 2nd down and 13. Swing pass. Running hard is Harold Green, and he's to the 34-yard line, about 6 yards short of where he has to go. The last time these two teams met in the regular season was 1988. Patriots won, and Esiason had his worst day. He was intercepted 5 times.
This is a little screen pass to the rookie out of South Carolina. Conversation I had with him the other day, he said that he started all 4 years at South Carolina, and that's why he chose South Carolina. Played in the run and shoot offense down there that Joe Morrison had before Joe passed away. This is a kid with a great deal of talent.
Bengals think he could be a steal of the draft. Drafted in the 2nd round. Play fake. Esiason on the rollout. Tight end running free. Straight ahead is Eric Caddis, and he has a first down for Cincinnati. So that diverse offense of the Bengals catch the Patriots in the wrong flow. They were all swinging left. Caddis was running free. Fred Marion, the free safety, finally made the tackle.
Watch the play fake by Boomer. Almost puts it into Harold Green's stomach and then pulls it out. And here goes Bengals right back to the line of scrimmage with a quick play.
Penalty markers down, though, Trump. Might have been a motion penalty. We'll see.
And also have been too many men on the field because it's at the New England side of the football field, and that's something the Bengals tried desperately to do early in the game. They don't want you trying to make substitutions out there.
Cincinnati under Sam White off to a 2-0 start. They came from behind here at Riverfront to beat the Jets opening day 25-20. They were down 13-0 last Sunday at San Diego and came back to win 21-16. Bengals leading the AFC Central. Gary Austin, the referee, as they try to get this all together.
We have 12 men on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
You see, Dunn, the first time that the Patriots tried to put their extra defensive backs on the field, the Bengals get them for a penalty. They'll decline the penalty, but they tried desperately to do that early in the game.
2nd down.
They declined the penalty. They tried to do that early in the game so that Charlie Sumner and the defense doesn't try it again. They try to sneak him on there, and the Bengals got him the first time they tried it.
Just short of a first down. It's 2nd down and less than a yard for Cincinnati. Bengals lead here in the first quarter 3-0. Green going wide. Big play in the backfield. Coming up to make the tackle was Richard Harvey, an inside linebacker, number 58, who the Patriots picked up as a Plan B free agent from Buffalo.
Well, we've seen this play for a lot of years. This is the counter tray, but they pull the tight end, and Harvey comes from behind the block to make the tackle for a loss of about 2 yards.
Now we have 3rd down and 4. Patriot coaches talking about how the Bengals will run the same play but out of different formations. Good fake by Esiason, looking deep. Lets a long ball go. Eddie Brown's after it, and Eddie Brown's in for a touchdown.
This guy hot.
10 receptions last week, 2 for touchdowns. I saw him at practice yesterday. Trump, he said, man, am I glad to see you. Every time you broadcast one of our games going back to that Orange Bowl and won the national championship, I catch balls.
He's thrilled now. That's his 13th catch, and he has 4 TDs.
So fast Eddie Brown beats the defense, and Boomer is right on time with that high arcing throw, and the Cincinnati Bengals jump off to a 10-0 lead.
We go back to the touchdown. The secret, the play action fake by Boomer Esiason. Does he put it into Harold Green's belly? No, he pulls it back, and look at the time it buys him. Eddie Brown just outruns Fred Marion. Boomer puts it in there perfectly again. Eddie's 13th catch of the season, his 4th touchdown. Not a bad percentage.
To say the least. 6th year out of Miami. He was the NFL Rookie of the Year in '85. He was a consensus All-Pro in '88. He had almost 1,300 receiving yards. Had a great year last year. Down Downfield hit, and it goes out of bounds at the 9-yard line, so they'll re-kick it. Lee Johnson's kick out of bounds.
Come out to the 35-yard line, Don.
Right out to the 35.
You mentioned Eddie Brown last year. Eddie Brown held out in the preseason, so Tim McGee has the 1,000-yard receiving season for the Bengals.
6:37 left to play in the first quarter, and the Bengals are in the lead 10-0. Chicago continues to lead the Vikings 3-0. Cleveland now in front of San Diego 7-3. Third possession for the Patriots. They have 1 first down. Mark Wilson's first throw of the day was intercepted. Rogan's only thrown 1 interception in 2 games. Here's Markers now. And so is the carrier, as John Stevens is taken down by the left side of the Cincinnati defense. McClendon was on the play. Xander filled.
That'll be against the defense. Looked like Hammerstein was in the neutral zone.
We have offsetting penalties. Number 71 of the defense is offside. Number 68 of the offense is holding. We'll replay first down.
That's Hammerstein offsides and Damian Johnson on the hold. So we do it again. So far, nothing has worked for New England. We'll see Hammerstein jump off sides on the hard count by Mark Wilson. And the right guard was the guy who was guilty of the hold. There he is right there, pulling Fulcher down.
John Stevens breaks into the Bengal defense. He's out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. James Francis and cornerback Carl Carter made the stop. The Bengal coaches talking how John Stevens handles the ball in the first 2 games about 3 out of every 4 times. It's not a kicking down.
Yeah, he runs it from the fullback spot. He's back there as a tailback in the single backs. They put him out as a wide receiver. He is a tireless running back. Last year, trouble with injuries and also some personal problems, but he is a load.
He gets it again. Does John Stevens. He'll be very close to a first down, but short. Irving Fryar was telling us yesterday, he said this is just a hard man. He said you shake hands with him, his hand is hard.
Yeah, Irving also said too, you know, when he comes to the sideline, turns up, sees those defensive backs coming in on him, he loves that. Lowers his shoulder. He never bounces out of bounds. He wants the contact.
Yeah, you don't hit him, he hits you. John Stevens, who had almost 1,200 yards his rookie season, played collegiately at Northwest Louisiana. Led the Patriots again last year with just over 800, but was troubled by an ankle problem most of the season. 3rd down and 1 for New England.
I would certainly guess they run left here. No.
There's a throw, open man, and the ball is caught at the 45-yard line. It's Robert Perryman coming out of the backfield. Lewis Billups cut him down, but it's a first down for the Patriots.
Excellent call. Excellent call. They fired up in there. This is fire protection. Get your man down if you can. Wilson stands in there. Perriman catches the ball for 12 yards and a first down pickup for New England. Nice play. Good choice by Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator of the Patriots.
Jimmy Ray telling us yesterday, Trump, how much he likes Perriman as a receiver. He said we don't get it to him a lot, but he can catch it, as he just did. So the Patriots get their first sustained drive of the day going. They trail 10-0 in the first quarter. John Stevens lost the ball. Xander is on the run for Cincinnati. And he's not done till he comes back inside the 30 and all the way down to the 23-yard line.
That is the 5th fumble recovery by the Cincinnati Bengals in this young 90 season. The hit is by Francis and Solomon Wilcox, and the ball bounces right straight to Carl Xander, 91.
So the Patriots self-destructing in the first quarter. They could be out of this one early as Xander ran it back 34 yards. Wilcox put his helmet on the ball. Pitch back to James Brooks. Is inside the 10-yard line down to the exit. They'll spot him out at the 11 where Roland James hit him out of bounds.
How does that little guy make a miss? We are not talking about one of the game's big backs. If JB is 5'10", 180, I'd be surprised. But this guy plays like he's 230. Watch how he bounces off people. Tremendous leg strength for his size. Cuts inside, hits Roland James right there, and it's good enough for a first down pickup.
First and 10 from just outside the 10. Esiason played vacant all day long into the end zone. Rodney Holman can't get to the ball. He was open. John Stevens, who doesn't cough it up often, he's been taking it into the line with 2 arms on the ball. Then he tried to shift hands to get running. And Wilcox hit him right at the right moment, put his helmet on the ball. So the Patriots self-destruct in the first quarter, but the better news for Patriot fans, this team will not quit. Esiason has been intercepted 5 times in the first 2 games. Running hard is Harold Green. He's down to the 3-yard line.
Harold Green.
Fred Marion, the free safety, stopped him from going in.
And for Jennings, 36. He comes into motion, and then Green with a great acceleration up through the middle. You see Fred Marion, 31, up there cheating the line of scrimmage to help on the goal line defense. He assists on the tackle along with Harvey.
2:45 to play in the first quarter. Cincinnati has been #1 in the NFL in rushing the past 2 seasons. They've not run well this year. Starting to get it going today on the ground. Elias, 3rd down, looks into the end zone. He'll run it into, nope. Now he fires, and it's thrown out of the end zone. Holman got his hands on it, but his feet weren't in, so the field goal unit comes out.
Agnew with good pressure on Esiason. Richard Harvey was the man in coverage. And it looked like Rodney Holman, the tight end, was about the 4th in the progression. Just couldn't quite keep his feet inbounds and hang on to the football. So, again, the Patriot defense takes the turnover and keeps them from scoring a touchdown, which is what you want your defense to do.
Boomer was ready to run, Trump, as you saw, and all of a sudden a big Patriot linebacker came up, and Boomer let it fly then. Here's Breech, who set the record, scoring in his 152nd consecutive game. On the second field goal today. Oh, a trick play, and it's going for a touchdown. Rodney Holman. Couldn't be better as the Bengals go to the bag of tricks, and they have a deep one and get 6 out of it.
And Don, if that doesn't work, if Holman doesn't catch it, it's an incomplete pass. So New England takes over at that spot. Beautifully conceived and perfectly executed.
Good point. That's actually a touchdown pass.
Absolutely.
Forward pass. So Sam Weitz likes what he sees as he congratulates his Bengals, and the worst of times have again befallen the Patriots, down 17-0 first quarter. Lee Johnson, just credited with his first touchdown pass, kicks off out of the end zone. Lee Johnson was the holder on the fake field goal. He just pitched forward. Here it is.
Not a very long pass,
but a very successful one.
Very accurate. Holman takes it in.
That's Rod Holman's first touchdown reception of the year.
Sam Weitz has got a big bag of tricks, and he's not afraid to run them at any point on the field. See out in front, Anthony Munoz with a big block, and also Leo Barker, 53, with a big block, and Holman just waltzes in. So Rod Rust has seen the first part of this game just basically blown away with the interception and the fumble recovery.
It's still 2 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the first quarter. The Patriots forced into a long ball offense already. Down 17-0. Not much yardage for Robert Perryman, but the Patriots held on. Tua Tagovailoa, number 96, a defensive end, made the stop. 1:54 to go. Giants up 3-0 on the Dolphins. Cleveland's defense scored. Had a whole lot of offense early this third Sunday. Has been here. Second and 8. Irving Fryer putting the dance on, and Irving Fryer turns it upfield. Best shape of his life. He's ready to explode anytime. These Bengal coaches are very concerned about Irving Fryer going deep.
Well, Irving had some off-season problems with the birth of a second child, and the child is fine, and he kind of came in with a new attitude, a little more serious about what he does. And if there's a more gifted athlete in the NFL, I'd like to see him line up against Irving Fryer in any athletic event you can name. This kid is extraordinary.
Good enough to be drafted #1 in the entire NFL when he came out of Nebraska. First down, New England. Stevens. They're finding a way to run on this Bengal defense. If they hold on, they could keep the ball moving. Mike Hammerstein, nose tackle from Michigan, was on the stop, number 71.
And did you see John Stevens? He's got both arms over the football. He does not want to fumble again. Watch when he goes through the line of scrimmage. He starts out, he puts, and watch him cover that ball up as he approaches the tacklers. Hammerstein is there to get him down, but he's going to make sure he doesn't cough it up again.
Straight ahead on second down and 3. It looks like it's going to be close, but not quite enough for the first down. Bring up third down. Tua Tagovailoa and the rookie James Francis on the stop for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Don, I think if you're the New England Patriots here, you pretty much have to discount the 17 points. Go right back to the top of your game plan and say, look, we got to shut them out for the rest of the game, and we believe our offense can produce 17 points in 4 quarters. If you don't have that kind of thought, this has a big chance for a big blowout.
Bengals conclude the first quarter, their most productive of the season.
Let's go back to the first quarter when John Stevens was carrying the ball up the middle, and a good hit by Solomon Wilcott's 41, and Francis 50 produces the turnover right here, and you can see he has the ball just in his left arm. Bounces right to Carl Zander. Bengals end up getting 7 points for that. And here's the last carry by John Stevens. When he approaches the hitters, covers that ball up, got both arms on it, didn't want anybody taking it away.
Live action now, third and short. Harriman dives over the top, and if he got it, it's by the nose of the ball as the linesmen come in to spot it. Bengals in a goal line defense against the third and short yardage power charge of the Patriots. Gonna bring the sticks out here, Trump, and check it out. Always a welcome moment for the players.
A little respite, yes. And of course, it always comes down to the spot. I'm not sure you ever see exactly how far that ball advances.
Oh, I'll tell you, that's really going to be close. He might have just missed it. No, he just made it. Just like I said.
Well, I certainly agreed with you. Just by half a football, I thought he would make. There's Rod Rust.
Coach Rust, 62 years old, in his first season as an NFL head coach. His dad in Cedar Rapids was a high school coach, and has drawn a lot of his football philosophy from what his father taught him. Base defense, train people to be ready to do anything out of it. They're not a tricky team on defense. In 12 years a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Last year he was the defensive coordinator of the Steelers. And again, Big John Stevens, both arms on the ball, steps his way into the Bengal defense. Gain of about 4 yards on first down. James Francis making a lot of plays. Offensive coordinator of the Patriots is Jimmy Ray. He was a terrific quarterback at Michigan State. He quarterbacked that great 66-10-10 tie game with Notre Dame. He likes to be upstairs, he told us, Trump, because he gets him away from all the emotion on the sideline.
Very unusual to have an offensive coordinator upstairs in the NFL. Normally they're down there on the sideline talking to the players.
See the numbers, 2nd and 5. Wilson stands in and is swept under. First sack of the day. James Francis, the rookie, led the charge. Number 50.
You see Francis standing up. He goes around Bruce Armstrong and then gets inside him, which is rather surprising. And is right there along with Darrell Grant, number 98.
Bruce Armstrong, Trump, just hopped off the field, the best offensive lineman for New England.
I said Darrell Grant, David Grant.
13:30 to play, clock running, first half. Bengals lead the game 17-0. Third down and 12. Chris Gamble has gone in now to play left tackle. Another big rush, and Wilson is devastated. No shot at all. Never even looked downfield. James Francis, in his first year, his third game, looking like an all-pro.
Certainly a great deal of concern here in Cincinnati about the lack of pass rush by the Bengals. But this time they commit to the pass rush. You see 5 guys, including Barney Bussey, 27, and Francis, Skip McClendon, 72, overwhelmed the offensive line.
Sam White saying the pass rush has been so lacking in the first 2 games, it's almost embarrassing. Hansen waits a long time, then launches a long punt. Mitchell Price back at his 16. He's taken down at the 27-yard line. Now to make the play was Eric Coleman. So the Bengals are ready to go on offense again. BC. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati with the Bengals this season have been outscored, as you see, 13-0 in the first quarter until today when they've capitalized on 2 Patriot turnovers and have taken command of the game in the first 15 minutes, 17-0. Now have 13:04 to play in the half. And with play resumes, it'll be the Bengals on offense, 1st and 10 at their 27.
Well, now if you're the New England Patriots, you got to think turnover. They come into the game with an awful lot of turnovers, and they got to start getting them right now. They got 7 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries, and to get back in this game, the New England Patriot defense is going to have to help the offense by getting the turnover and giving them the short field.
Well, there's a problem with the ref's mic, and Rod Russ thinks there's a problem with his football team in the early going. They've got to get the turnovers back. That has been a nemesis of Cincinnati. Interceptions, Esiason has thrown 5, and the Patriots coming into this game were #1 in the NFL in the plus ratio on turnovers. They're +8 after 2 games.
We have the umpire down in the left end zone who was having either the little thing that gets him in touch with the replay booth, his microphone, his headset. The NFL is definitely high tech.
Sometimes it's a good time to check these things out before the game.
It's a great idea. First quarter numbers very deceiving. The 2 turnovers, of course, have produced 10 points of the 17 scored by the Bengals.
First play on offense from scrimmage today was a Mark Wilson throw for the Patriots, and it was intercepted by Lewis Phillips. Soon after, the Bengals were on the board with a Breech field goal and on their way. They have subsequently built the lead to 17-0. Esiason to the rookie. Green is out to the 33-yard line. 5-yard gain, and now we switch to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, at Giants Stadium, New York kept the ball for 17 plays in more than 10 minutes, but then Lewis Tillman was stopped around the 5 on 3rd down. They settled for a Raul Alegre field goal and lead 3-0. By the way, Don, I'm looking forward to those cameos by you and Trump on Camp Cucamonga tonight.
We're looking forward to those. Here is a 2nd down throw by Esiason over the middle, and he gets Green. Green getting a lot of ball action here, Trump.
Now, in the preseason, he had a little trouble hanging on to it. It was getting away from him a little bit. Sam White, the head coach, wants to bring him along slowly because they believe this kid has the potential to do just about anything you need in the NFL. Excellent hands, was a big receiver at South Carolina as a collegiate player. Now 3rd down and short for the Bengals.
3rd and 2 it is from their 36. Boomer with a great play fake. He'll run for the 1st down and bails out nicely. He is a terrific play faker, much in the mold of Joe Montana, and they do it with an empty hand. They don't bring the ball in and out. They do put the ball on their hip and fake with their empty hand.
Joe Montana and Boomer Esiason were taught that by one Sam White. Of all the attributes Sam White had as a player, first his grit, he just would never give up, and 2, the little nuances of the game like the play action fake are things that Sam was very good at.
Bengals don't have a lot of yards so far. Passing just 22. Now Esiason sidesteps a rusher, throws downfield, and makes the connection down to the 34-yard line. Tim McGee, the super fast wide receiver from Tennessee.
Bengals' choice is to do a lot of rolling out. Again, you see Boomer Esiason with a play action fake. He sets up right behind the center, but then after the pressure comes, he gets outside and does an excellent job of avoiding the rush. 54 was the closest man, Ed Williams. And a big completion for the Bengals.
White, who you just looked at, throws an extra 50 passes to Tim McGee every Thursday. McGee, a diligent worker. Now a rollout again and again. Esiason's left uncovered and gets out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. And a first down carry, he got close to 8.
Again, the linebackers of the Patriots are really biting on the play action fake. Now watch Harvey 58, 52 Rembert. Watch the step. That's all you need to run a pass offense behind them. Just that little false step. And you see the defense gets stretched. It gets out of whack. And there are all kinds of options for the offense.
Long way to go, but so far in this game, the New England Patriots outplayed and outclassed in every dimension of football that's measurable. Cincinnati with a 17-0 lead, looking to build on it now. Good play call for Boomer, 2nd and 4. Anything he wants after this set. And it's a run to James Brooks. Harvey gets him in the backfield for a loss on the play. As we'll check the scoreboard again, the 10-minute ticker. 2 Kevin Butler field goals give the Bears a lead over the Vikings at Soldier Field. We have 9 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first half here at Riverfront Stadium.
Patriots have 5 defensive backs. And the Bengals have James Brooks down here at the bottom of the screen as a wideout.
Wide open is Tim McGee as he tightropes the sideline, goes out at the 17-yard line, but he has another Cincinnati first down.
Boy, they are just spreading the New England Patriot defense all over the field. They've got mismatches everywhere. Tim McGee was totally uncovered that time. Boomer puts it right between the 8 and the 5. And frankly, if McGee can catch that ball a little further away from the sideline, he waltzes in for the score. They're open all over the place here, Don. This shocks me. This New England Patriot defense is normally a very sound and very steady defense.
Surely is. The first play of this game from scrimmage set the tone for the ball game. Mark Wilson on 1st and 10, threw the ball, intercepted by Billups, and that was it. Now Esiason has a problem, dumps it off wisely as the rush is closing in. Vincent Brown was coming and coming hard. See Boomer's numbers, staying away from the intercepts. He came in as the 8th rated passer in the AFC. Big loss on offense for the Patriots, as pointed out at the outset, is the absence, although he could conceivably play, of Steve Grogan, who's standing there with a red head on number 14. His neck bothering him. 2 sensational games to start the season.
I don't think Grogan wants to get into this mess right here now. He'd rather have Mark Wilson have this one for the rest of the day.
In that cage with a full-grown Benzu,
Yeah,
the Tiger.
not a good idea.
Timeout called with 8:29 to play in the first half. So the Bengals now go to the sideline to get some counsel from Coach White. Whole team goes over. Bengals back on offense now as they huddle with a 2nd down and 10 coming up from the Patriots 17-yard line. Bengals had 1 touchdown pass today, but it wasn't thrown by Esiason out of a fake field goal. The holder, Johnson, threw it. Lee Johnson. James Brooks looking for room and takes it down close to the 12-yard line.
Boomer's getting up slow. Boomer Esiason made a block and is getting up very, very slowly.
As There's a Patriot down 2. So it might be the nose tackle, Tim Goad, shaken up.
Yeah, Goad is on the ground. So is Boomer Esiason.
Boomer isn't getting up at all at the moment. A rib might have taken a shot to the ribs. We'll see again here, Trump.
Yeah, when James Brooks cuts back, one of the prices the quarterback has to play is that you got the helmet and those shoulder pads, and you got to get out there and try to make a block. He does a pretty good job in the block, too. He blocks to and through the man. Vincent Brown, 59. But it looked like, you're right, he may have gotten hit in the ribs.
He got a knee in the ribs.
Yeah, right in the lower right rib area.
But the rookie Chris Singleton getting his first action for the Patriots might have gotten Boomer when he went to tackle him. Esiason coming off now, shaken up, appears to be all right though. Todd Philcox will come in.
And he is a clone of Boomer Esiason.
Although he's never been the NFL's MVP, as Esiason was in '88.
That is correct. Just physically very close in height, very close in weight.
6'4", 210. Listed as a first-year player from Syracuse. He was here last year as a Plan B, actually as a six-man slot. Developmental.
And there's Tim Goad, the nose man.
It's all right.
He's leaving the field, so he looks all right.
Couldn't hurt him with a club. So Boomer shaken up, taking a shot to the ribs, but appears to be all right. But Philcox is in the game right now as third down arises for the Bengals. A tough place for a new quarterback to come in. Throwing down, but he's not warmed up. See, they need 6. He's going to throw it. Philcox on the rollout. Let's a look. He gets flattered. Intercepted in the end zone. There's a penalty marker down also.
I think that's going to be a late hit on Chris Singleton.
Fred Marion picked it off. A holding call against New England.
Philcox got leveled too.
Holding number 59 of the defense, 5 yards, first down.
They call the holding on Vincent Brown. Watch Philcox throw this ball, and then Chris Singleton. He didn't really hit him in the head. It looked like when his head snapped, live action, that he may have hit him in the head, but
they're turning Singleton loose today. He's one of the best players to come out of college football last year. He was the 8th player picked in the first round as Boomer's back in.
yeah, actually, the Bengals would have taken Chris Singleton. They ended up with James Francis, and Singleton went right before James Francis.
Francis was in camp on time, and Singleton held out virtually the whole training camp. And Green runs, but not very far. Harold Green is taken down at about the 8-yard line on a first down carry. Vincent Brown got him. Game clock running, 7 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half. There's big, tough Vincent Brown.
We got another New England Patriot down. It looks like Richard Harvey as Boomer comes back in the ball game. They don't have any linebackers left. Tardich went out last week with a sprained ankle, badly sprained ankle. Tippett is out with a pulled hamstring. They're running out of people here, Don.
Harvey being attended to now. So there's a break in the action with the Bengals still leading 17-0. We're back and set to go. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Bengals driving again and leading the game 17-0. James Brooks turns to the outside, kicks into high speed and takes it inside the 5-yard line. Vincent Brown, 59, stopped him along with Singleton.
Now we'll watch the injury to Richard Harvey. The center, Bruce Kazurski, is blocking Rembert, 52. Kazurski, 64, and hits Harvey on the left leg. We don't know the extent of the injury, but it does not look good. And the Patriots are down to 4 linebackers, and obviously all 4 of those are playing. Chris Singleton, whether they wanted him to play a big part in this game or not, is going to have to.
He might make some mistakes, but I'll tell you, he looks like the real thing of what we see him and the guy on the Bengals, James Francis, up the middle, give, and the Bengals are in again. Harold Green, the rookie. His first NFL touchdown.
The fans here in Riverfront Stadium aren't yelling and screaming much. You know, his first NFL touchdown. He takes the ball back to the sideline with him. Trying to spot on his mantle for that. This is getting ugly quick.
Lee Johnson hits the extra point. A marker goes down. Jim Breech hits it. But there's a marker down.
That's roughing the kicker.
Extra point's good.
It'll be good.
Running into the kicker. 5 yards on the kickoff.
Patriots Trump might be ready to warm up the buses. Get out of town.
Yeah, run a nice little straight ahead blocking power scheme right up the middle. They got the defense spread all over the field, and there really weren't that many people to take care of. You see the trap? 73. Ken Moyer does an excellent job on Ray Agnew. Harold Green in for the score.
A week of rigid discipline coming up for the Patriots at Camp Cucamonga.
Yeah, you know, I don't like this for the New England Patriots because next week they play the Jets, and the Jets offense is very similar to the Bengals offense.
And with good reason.
And with good reason. Bruce Coslett, the new head coach, taking an awful lot with him to New York.
It's a doubleheader week next week on NBC Sports, beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And then some of the 1 o'clock games, the Dolphins and the Steelers meet at Pittsburgh. Denver's at Buffalo. At 4 o'clock, Cleveland at Kansas City, the Jets at New England. Check your local listings for the games in your area. It all kicks off at 12:30 with NFL Live with Will, Bob, and O.J. Mark Wilson, who's the starting quarterback today for New England, was the #1 draft choice of the then Oakland Raiders in 1980 after he set 11 passing records, NCAA marks at Brigham Young.
Now, I don't like his chances in this ball game at this point. He is 3 of 5 for 36 yards and an interception to this point.
Whole game turned on that interception, though.
Yes, it did.
Play from scrimmage. Lee Johnson puts another charge into it. But Sammy Harden, he watches the ball go out of the end zone, and the Patriots will try once again from their 20.
Well, leading 24-0, the Bengals can certainly work on their pass rush because there's no reason to be conservative in your play calling on defense. And I don't know that Mr. Wilson is wearing enough pads, frankly. I would imagine he is going to be heavily harassed for the rest of the day. This is now the point where you've had your stats if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. And for the Patriots, you try to get out of here with your life.
McMurtry, a rookie, is in the game. Wilson looks, he throws, it was tipped. 2nd and 10. Leon White, 51, breaking in from the left linebacker position, got a hand on the ball. You see the scoring drive for Cincinnati. Sustained 12 plays. Rookie Harold Green on the payoff end with his first NFL touchdown to extend the Bengals lead to 24-0. 6:15 to play in the first half. Wilson airs it out. Going for John Stevens, but there's a marker down in the Patriot backfield.
Phillips was the man in coverage. It's holding against New England. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, the Patriots in our conversation with the players and coaches last evening, they're full of confidence, but
Holding. Number 68 offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
that's Damian Johnson. But Don, I agree with you. I think that interception on the first play of the game just took the life right out of this football team.
And the Stevens fumble that was turned into points didn't help. You see the total yards. Certainly not such a marked differential as there is on the scoreboard. But the Patriots lead 24-0.
Well, the Bengals lead 24.
Bengals, excuse me. The Patriots trying to get out of the hole. As Wilson throws over the middle. Nice play by Marv Cook. Did he have it and lose it? Looks like a catch and a fumble and a Cincinnati Bengal ball.
And that's not on Mark Wilson. Rod Jones with the recovery, if in fact it is a catch. These are always reviewable. There's Steve Grogan. Oh, I'm sure he's glad he's got that tape and standing on the sideline today.
And as they've said before, Trump, if this was a fight, they'd stop it.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure his second foot got down, Don.
You love this.
Yeah. Barry.
Here he goes.
We got a TV timeout. I should say a referee's timeout or somebody's timeout. But again, was that second foot down with clear? Let's see where he catches it. He got it 1, 2. Well, I don't think that's reversible.
Well, this Solomon Wilcots, I mean, he doesn't hit people. He hits them like a bazooka.
Yeah, I think they're going to allow the fumble and recovery there.
First down, Cincinnati.
Referee agreed with us.
So the Bengals will look to extend their lead to 31-0 by halftime, and perhaps the Patriots will man the windows and give people their money back. Their performance has been that bad.
Well, in the first 2 games of the season, the Bengals have had very little luck running the ball. As you look at the tight end Cook, and before the day it was all Patriots. Today, of course, it's been all Bengals. The point I was going to make, though, is if the Bengals had not been able to run the ball in the first 2 games, this is certainly a great opportunity. Just keep running it.
24-0 and soon to get worse. Boomer, open man, but he goes to the wrong side of James Brooks. That would have been a big gainer, as Brooks had a couple of steps on safety Roland James.
Well, they're open all over the place, aren't they, Don?
Anywhere he wants to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting good time to throw. You see Boomer calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
Normally the visiting team getting off to a fast start takes the crowd out of the game. Today the home team with their dominance has taken the crowd out of the game.
Relatively quiet in here. You're right.
He's dropped. Boomer on the run, and they get him. Johnny Rembert gets him back at the 39-yard line.
So I think it was it Rembert or was it Agnew? They came with a blitz. You see 59 Brown from the outside, and when Boomer steps up, let's see who it is. Yeah, it's Ray Agnew, 92, who makes the sack.
We haven't seen a devastating performance like this from the Bengals since the days of Bob Trumpy back in the late 60s.
Not even close to this. This is the way this team played 2 years ago.
They went to the Super Bowl and just lost to the 49ers. This is one team that can stay with the 49ers. They've done it twice in Super Bowls, in 81 and 88, losing both times. They should have won in 81.
I think they should have won in 88 too, if it weren't for that 90-yard drive by Joe Montana.
The drive by Montana. Back in a moment. Back at Cincinnati, Don Crickey with Bob Trumpy. Trump, I think when the Patriots get back to Logan tonight, they're going to take these game tapes and deposit them immediately in Boston Harbor.
None of the players want to watch this, Don. The way you get back in games like this, though, is totally the responsibility of the defense. They need to get the turnovers. The offense, you can't really put it on the offensive shoulders, as again, Wilson is heavily pressured, and he almost throws another interception. But your defense needs to come up with the turnovers to get your offense back in this blowout.
That's been the key to the Patriots in the first 2 games. They really had Miami beat at Foxborough opening day. Gambled on a fake field goal and lost. Charlie Sumner, the defensive coordinator in the background there, looking for answers. Here's Wilson with a good throw downfield to Irving Fryer. Fryer's caught everything they've thrown his way. He's been double teamed all day. Has to be the best dressed man in the NFL.
Yeah, but you know, he's the only guy they're throwing to. They haven't looked at Hartley Dykes yet today. Good pass protection here by the Patriots. Wilson still has a very strong arm. Soft coverage by Billups, and of course leading 24-0. You're going to give him a little bit of a cushion.
Irving had an outfit on last night. We met with him. It's worth more than my car. Downfield through, almost a pickoff. Solomon Wilcots with a play on the ball, incomplete. Today's NFL headlines. Bills are going to refuse further comment on internal strife. Whether or not the strife continues remains to be seen. And that's interesting. Will McDonough reporting, and nobody is in on it more than he is, that Bobby Hebert is not part of a three-way trade. Tell you something I heard that Aikman has a problem with his throwing elbow. They didn't want to trade Walsh because they're not sure if it's just a temporary thing. The velocity's off his ball. He was throwing over 50 miles an hour on a gun timer last year. He's down in the 40s this year. They don't talk about it, but Aikman has a problem with his elbow.
Well, Mark Wilson is physically fine. He's got a lot of other problems here. Trailing 24-0. And the defense is going to put a lot of pressure on him, and there's going to be 7 or 8 defensive backs back there to look for the ball. Numbers not really bad. It's just the interception he threw on the first play of the game set the entire tone of the game. Blitz coming.
Long ball. Irving Fryer on the run, looking for a penalty flag, but there is none, as the coverage was step for step with him. Carl Carter was the defender for Cincinnati, and the Bengals will get it back on a Patriot punt.
I feel bad for the Patriots. This is a spot where there's just no way to win, and you still got 2 quarters left.
Ryan Hansen, who was a punter at New Orleans in '84 when he led the NFC in that department and went to the Pro Bowl, back now for New England. And Mitchell Price, the rookie, is back to return for Cincinnati. End-over-end punt could be tough to field. Mitchell Price does a good job of it and takes off out to the 38-yard line. On the scoreboard, the Giants have extended their lead to 10-0 over unbeaten Miami. Otis Anderson just ran for 1 yard to touchdown. Christian Okoye just scored for Kansas City as they lead the Packers at Green Bay. Bears and a Neil Anderson touchdown run have extended their lead to 13-3 over the Vikings. San Diego on a Billy Tolliver pass. Anthony Miller is now up on Cleveland. Allison Washington slugging it out. And Houston leads on a Warren Moon touchdown throw to Lorenzo White. 2:57 to play in the first half. Quick out. Jim McGee has the ball and is taken down at the 42-yard line.
Again, if the Patriots are to get back in this game, this is where it's got to happen. Defense has got to come up with the turnover.
Play fake. McDonough. We'll be talking about that Hebert trade at halftime as Esiason lets it go to McGee by himself at the 6-yard line.
Ronnie Lepet dropped the coverage.
Tim McGee was so open it looked like he snuck in from the stands onto the field.
With all the scrambling around by Boomer Esiason, Ronnie Lepet just flat dropped the coverage. Now he also almost gets back to knock it away. That ends up being a 61-yard pass completion. Goodness.
So the Bengals are down close again. They have it 1st and goal at the Patriot 11. It's tonight on NBC. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line for Cincinnati. Tell you one thing, the Patriots are having a bad day, but this Chris Singleton is some big-time player.
Yeah, they can't wait to get him in the lineup and teach him the entire defense. And of course, one of the NFL's great stories with his twin brother Kevin playing college football at Arizona. Singleton he's almost a clone of Andre Tippett. Big, strong, fast, smart, all the things you want.
6'3", 247.
Yeah.
I saw him in high school. I lived with him in New Jersey. He was good enough to make second-team All-State. How good are those selections? Handoff to James Brooks, and he dances in, standing up. Touchdown, Bengals.
They clear that area out. That's his first touchdown of the 1990 season. But a great job of blocking up front by Moyer and Blados. Watch the guards pull. Here comes Moyer. Behind him is Riggs. Moyer does an excellent job on Vincent Brown, 59. Brooks cuts behind it, is untouched into the end zone, and it's lights out.
Who I would not want to be. I would not want to be a member of the New York Jets having to play at New England next week. These guys are still pros, and there'll be an ill humor. But today, the Bengals are up 31-0. With ex-Bengal Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Riverfront Stadium on a very nice day in Southern Ohio. NFL Live coming up at halftime. The inside stuff from Costas, McDonough, and Simpson. Hebert, there's such rancor between Bobby Hebert and the president of the Saints, Jim Finks. I think Finks would just as soon see him sit.
Not the way John Forcade has played, though.
No.
We might cover a lot of subjects in the second half of this game.
Yeah. Be doing those
Book reviews. movie criticisms.
High spinning kick downfield by Lee Johnson to the 5-yard line. Sammy Martin runs it back, and he's out to the 24-yard line. So the Patriots will try again. So Victor Cayenne, the Patriot owner before the game, used some very good spirits after the good showing of his team last week, winning on the road in Indianapolis. Today, Victor Cayenne might be reading the Ruby out of Omer Cayenne in the second half, where time was likened to bird on a wing.
He might be easily distracted in the second half. Yes, I can understand why. The Bengals have played a perfect half of football. Receivers open everywhere.
Time is moving slowly today for the Patriots. Here's a breakup at the 34-yard line. Good throw, but the defense was right there. Leo Barker. Bengals have some very underrated. Boy, they got a nice looking linebacking core with Francis the rookie and two other good ones, Bernard Clark and Craig Ogletree.
Ball thrown just inside, intended for Marv Cook, the tight end. Leo Barker there to knock the ball away. And these linebackers over the last couple of years for the Bengals have gotten a lot bigger. They did have a very small linebacking core, but now they're getting up there, averaging about 240.
Wilson in deep trouble. But a good throw by Mark Wilson, rolling out near side. He gets the ball away and makes the connection to Hartley Dykes. Just about every athlete in this league is phenomenal. Few as phenomenal as Hartley Dykes.
This is a nice throw by Mark Wilson. And Ricky Dixon, 29, with pressure on him, but he's able to square his shoulders, still get the ball down to Hartley Dykes. First catch of the day. Last week, he was a big receiver for Steve Grogan at Indianapolis.
In high school in Bay City, Texas, Hartley Dykes led his high school to the baseball, basketball, and football state championships. He was MVP in all three teams. Downfield throw, intercepted and lost by Solomon Wilcox. And a marker down. 50 seconds to play in the first half. 31-0 Cincinnati.
That's really about the first mistake or situation where the Bengals have not taken advantage of it in this first half.
We have multiple fouls against the defensive team. We have number 72 lined up off sides. Illegal use of hands to the face, number 44. That's a penalty we enforced. 5 yards, first down.
Bengals don't have a 44, but somebody used their hands illegally to the face.
Who was that masked man?
We're not sure, but the penalty stands.
Throw, beautifully thrown ball, but it's off the helmet of Barney Bussey, number 27, who is into cover.
With Stevens, the primary receiver, against great pressure again by the Bengals. Stevens just couldn't get his hands up to try for the completion here. Watch this ball boink right on the head of Barney Bussey. That's a pretty good shot. Looking for help on not sure there's going to be any of it today from his teammates.
Second down and 10. Open man, Marv Cook, the tight end, crosses midfield. That's Greg McMurtry, the rookie wide receiver, making the catch. And it'll be good for first down for New England.
Now the defense is playing the prevent. It's a 16-yard completion. You want, as a defense, you want to keep all receivers in front of you. You don't want the big play, and you hope that time expires before they can get down here for a field goal attempt or simply a touchdown. There are 6 defensive backs in the ball game for the Bengals.
Markers down all over. The play is whistled dead. False start could be the call with 35 seconds to play in the first half.
False start, number 68 of the offense. Still first down.
2 seconds back on the clock.
Damian
Clock
Johnson.
operator, please set the clock at 37 seconds.
Damian Johnson is not having a good day. He's had 2 holding penalties. Now you see him at right guard, rock out of his stance against 72 Skip McClendon. Johnson is 68. I think Rod Rust would like at halftime to take his players, put them back on the bus, and then walk back in this stadium like nothing has happened.
Till they look over the board. Wilson in trouble, loses the ball. But the Patriots recover their own fumble. Steve Grogan counsels call a timeout. Net to Tagovailoa. Was the man who forced the fumble, and we'll be back in a moment.
Here's the sack on Wilson. Tagovailoa goes out of the picture. Francis 50 with initial pressure, and then Tagovailoa is the one on the hit. Stevens comes up with the fumble, 44. And because it's inside 2 minutes, the ball goes back to the spot where Mark Wilson put it on the ground. Look at that.
Starts to hurt.
You get calluses in places where you don't want them from hitting the turf.
29 seconds to go. Patriots trying to get something on the board. On-field throw and a connection. Caught nicely by Hartley Dykes, and he's down to the 37-yard line with 21 seconds to play.
Timeout, New England. Second timeout. 40-second timeout.
Good pass protection this time. Nice deep pattern run by Hartley Dykes. The crossing pattern, and of course the middle of the field is going to be left open by the defense. The 22-yard catch, Rod Jones on the tackle, and the closest man in coverage was Lewis Billups. But again, the prevent mindset. Keep him in front of you. Make sure you can make the tackle. Hopefully make the tackle on the field of play where they got to use up their timeouts and they don't get the field goal attempts. We'll see if it works.
Jason Starofsky, the field goal kicker. He's hit 4 of 6 so far this year.
You don't see a lot of life on that sideline, do you?
Would you expect to?
No, I would not. But that's what
we haven't seen a lot of life on the field.
Or in the stands, frankly. Kind of a picnic here at the Riverfront Stadium. They're waiting for the Reds to get back in town. You know, I'm all for a professional football gimmick, you know, like in golf. A 7-inch putt.
In the leather.
Yeah, it's in the leather. This game is in the leather.
Third down and 5 for Mark Wilson. He gets time, lofts the ball down. Open man, nicely done. And again, it's Irving Fryer. Only sensational.
And he gets out of bounds. That's the most important thing. He makes the catch and he gets out of bounds.
You got help getting out of bounds.
This is the 2-deep zone. The safeties are supposed to rotate out, the corners up. Phillips was short. Dixon was deep. 22-yard catch. Fryer runs an excellent pattern, and Wilson gets him the ball.
Now the Bengal fans start up. They want to preserve this shutout. Wilson over the middle. Touchdown, Patriots. Marv Cook, the tight end, takes it in. And the silence all of a sudden is deafening here in Riverfront.
Leo Barker was the man in coverage. Excellent pattern run by Cook. Just the circle route as the tight end. Well, that gives Marv Cook comes from the right. You should see him appear. There he is. He fights inside Leo Barker, 53. He's able to carry him into the end zone, and that gives something, a little boost to the psychology of this game for the Patriots.
It's got to be tough, Trump, for the Bengals to stay up every play.
No question about it. But still, for the Patriots to get back in this game, it's got to come from the defense. They've got to come up with the turnovers in the second half.
So far they've had none. We'll look at the scoreboard again now. The 10-minute ticker on NBC Sports. You see the score here, 31-7. Bengals in the lead. Now a 10-3 game. Stoyanovich hit a field goal for Miami. Chicago with a 13-6 halftime lead on the Vikings. Kansas City continues to lead Green Bay. Next panel, please. There it is. Cleveland now up 14-10 on San Diego. Leroy Horde, a rookie from Michigan, scored for the Browns. Washington holding to a 3-point lead. Houston extends its lead to 14-0 over winless Indianapolis. And the Saints up on the Cardinals at halftime. So Mark Wilson and the offense all of a sudden come alive. Is it far too little too late? We have a half of football to play. Maybe Trump will be witness to the greatest comeback in Patriot history. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Certainly can't happen. There's no question about that. But that's a different defensive mindset at the end of the game, into the half, than you have in regular circumstances. Nice drive, though. 75 yards. Wilson's got a little self-confidence now. Something to build on for the second half.
High spinning kick by Starofsky down to the 2-yard line. Eric Ball brings it back. He can go. Eric Ball from UCLA is out to the 18-yard line, and that'll just about do it. 4 seconds left in the half. Chris Singleton made the tackle.
Now, Wilson's going into the locker room here. It looks like he has a cut on his right hand, his throwing hand.
Now you see a guy with a tie on tending to a player. It's often a serious injury. It's for the doctor.
Tom Hodson is the backup quarterback today. I don't think we'll see Grogan in this disaster.
Patriots have some medical crew. They got the head of cardiology at Mass General here, a top orthopedic surgeon. No matter what goes wrong, they're ready for it. And a lot went wrong today. 31-7 at halftime. The Bengals lead the Patriots. NFL Live is coming up next here on NBC Sports. First, these words.
Here's Commissioner Paul Tagliabue in the studio with us. We left off at the end of the pregame show talking about instant replay, and one point is that obviously there are big differences from game to game in the amount of available equipment. Does that concern you?
It doesn't concern me, I guess, for two reasons. Number one, the two teams are playing with the same amount of equipment in the game. And number two, with our 2-minute limit this year for reviewing the video, no one's going to get 8 or 9 or 10 camera angles anyway. So we're basically going to be looking at roughly the same number of camera angles in each game.
Now, what about in a very big game, very big late season game with that 2-minute rule in effect? And if after the 2 minutes have gone by, just for the purpose of enlightening the audience, the network covering the game comes up with what is now the definitive replay, and it clearly overrules the call that has just stood or should have, and you don't have the capability because of the 2-minute rule.
Well, the coaches said, you know, that we should strike a balance, and everyone felt we should strike a balance between having the game move along. As you know, the rule is that the replay has to be clear and indisputable. And if you can't make that judgment within 2 minutes, the consensus among the coaches and the teams was that we should go back to the field and play.
Will?
Paul, let's jump to a couple of issues you're going to have to deal with, I think, here shortly. How about Eric Dickerson? When do you anticipate making a decision with what's going to happen to him?
I think probably sometime this week I'll get back to Eric and to the Colts with some indication of what I think they should do and whether there's anything I can do about it, frankly.
How about Clarence Kay? I think you've got some kind of an idea of what you might do with his situation.
Well, Clarence, you know, was arrested for speeding, and I think I've seen enough now to convince me that Clarence should be permitted to play for the Broncos, and I have informed the Broncos of that recently.
There's some feeling in the league. You got an important meeting coming up Tuesday where the owners are going to come in to vote on a practice squad. Some of the owners think that this might be the first step towards a new collective bargaining agreement with the players. How do you feel?
Well, I don't see it quite so globally. I think it's important for two reasons. Number one, it's responsive to what the coaches and the football people want. They wanted these practice players, and I think management has an obligation to be responsive when it could affect the product. Number two, I think it is significant that for the first time, representatives of the teams and the players have gotten together. They've listened to each other carefully. They've gotten off their positions and moved toward a middle ground and reached an agreement. That, I think, is significant.
Finishing up where we started, is it fair to say that replay coming into this season was again hanging by a thread? It seemed a couple of years ago it was sustained almost as a personal tip of the hat to Pete Rozelle. Then you had to step in and lobby again this time. Is it always on the brink?
Well, I think in this league there will always be some people who will oppose instant replay, but this year with the changes we made, maybe we'll have a stronger consensus at the end of the year. It's going to be interesting to see.
I wish we had more time, but we thank Commissioner Paul Tagliabue for stopping by. Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and I will be back as halftime continues in a moment. Okay, we're back with Will and O.J. and Mr. McDonough. It was kind of interesting that for the first time that I'm aware of, Commissioner Tagliabue told you definitively that Clarence Kay will be allowed to return to the Broncos.
And that's big news in Denver. They've been waiting for this story, and the big thing is that Kay will not be suspended. And I think the other important thing in there was what he had to say about Dickerson. If you paid attention to his last line where he said he really didn't think there was anything he could do, I took that to mean that the Dickerson suspension will stand.
All right, we move on to scores and highlights of other games. The Giants entertaining the Dolphins, both teams 2-0. The Giants completely dominated the first half. They thwarted Dan Marino. At one point, he was 5 for 13 passing. Now, early in the third quarter, it's 10-3 in favor of New York. This is first half action. Sammy Smith, the league's leading rusher through the first 2 weeks, snuffed at the line of scrimmage by Pepper Johnson. They talk about Lawrence Taylor, and rightly so, but the entire Giant linebacking core is just terrific with Pepper Johnson and this man, Carl Banks. Watch him force Marino into a hurried throw. Then later on in the first half, with the Giants leading 3-0 on a Raul Allegre field goal, they polish off a touchdown drive, punching it over from the 1-yard line, the ageless Otis Anderson. Giants led 10-0 at the half. They lead now 10-3 as Pete Stoyanovich has just hit a 51-yard field goal for the Dolphins. Kansas City leads at Lambeau early in the third quarter, 7-3. Christian Okoye with a 5-yard scoring run just before halftime. Don Mikowski starts for Green Bay. He's been rusty thus far, though. Chicago trying to go 3-0, leading at Soldier Field early in the third over the Vikings, 13-6. Neil Anderson, an 8-yard scoring run, his 5th TD of the year. New England playing at Cincinnati. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that game, and they're all lowlights from the perspective of the Patriots, and we're not going to look at those highlights. Don't, just stop. Don't do it. My mistake, no highlights. I shouldn't have told you to roll them, so don't. You folks are watching this game, and the Bengals lead it by a score of 31-7, so we don't have to go over all the gruesome details from the Patriots standpoint. Bengal fans are happy. They're on their way to a record of 3-0. San Diego is playing at Cleveland. Billy Joe Tolliver had a pass intercepted by Mike Johnson. He galloped back 64 yards for a touchdown. It's the big play in the first half so far in Cleveland at halftime with the lead at 14-10. Washington on a pair of Chip Lohmiller field goals leads at RFK over Dallas 6-3, but Mark Rippon had to be helped off the field late in the first half with a sprained left knee. Stan Humphries, his backup, came in, finished the first half. They're x-raying Rippon's knee right now. Houston has the lead at the Astrodome, 14-0 over Indianapolis early in the third. A pair of Warren Moon touchdown passes, each to Lorenzo White. Both these teams come in with records of 0-2. Jeff George started the game at quarterback for the Colts, but was removed in the second quarter with an abdominal muscle pull and replaced by Jack Trudeau. And here's some good news for Saint fans. You might have read about all those New Orleans backers who took a vow of celibacy until the Saints scored their first touchdown of 1990. Well, here it is in Week 3, and John Fourcade relieved the tension, you might say.
Well, the Giants have figured it out. They just don't let him on the football field. Miami's offense was only on the field for a minute and a half in the first quarter. And then Sammy Smith, who has been leading the league in rushing, only gained 1 yard. One thing about Miami, I think they're a better football team when they're running and throwing the football. But Marino's a better quarterback when he's just throwing the football. And in the second half, I think that's the Dan Marino we're going to see. And this should be a high-scoring game, even if it's only 10-3 now.
Okay, what do you say we just sit here and look at those highlights of the Patriot-Bengal game while we send it back to the field and rejoin Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy?
The numbers dominant for Cincinnati, 31-7 after the first half of play. The Patriots scoring late in the second quarter to at least get on the board. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Good news, Trump. The Patriots are they're coming out.
Yeah, they are going to be here for the second half in case You wondered, but the game did not start right for the New England Patriots. Some days,
faithful throw turned the whole game. First play from scrimmage.
Some days it's like this, and it looked like the Bengals confused Mark Wilson into coverage, and he throws the ball to Irving Fryer, and Lewis Billups makes a fine interception here, but that pretty much was the tone of the first half. The Bengals only get 3 points, but it looked like an awful lot of whatever steam the New England Patriots had dropped there, and then John Stevens later in the first quarter, normally a very sure-handed ball carrier, when he's hit by Francis 50, is kind of spun around a little bit by Wilcox on a heavy hit, and the ball is picked up by Carl Zander, and the Bengals get 7 points out of that. So Patriots are just, this is not their day.
Well, you've been part of an expansion team here in Cincinnati that had some long days early in the going, and you've had to come back from big deficits. These are all highly paid professionals. What do you think was said in the locker room at halftime?
Well, I think you pretty much offensively, if you're Jimmy Ray, you have to just go back to page 1 of your game plan this week and try to execute it. And I think if you're Rod Rust and Charlie Sumner on the defense, you got to preach turnover. These guys do strip the ball, and they do disguise coverages, and you've got to try to come up with turnovers for your offense to get back in this game. Without the turnovers, the New England Patriots have absolutely no chance whatsoever to make up ground. The 3 turnovers, look, the Patriots, I mean, you just can't do that in the NFL and expect to win. That's what they've lived on, getting the turnovers. Today, they've given it up.
Turnover count, a big factor in this game. As we mentioned at the outset of the day, the Patriots coming into this game were #1 in the NFL as Mark Wilson gets set to go back in. Apparently his hand all right.
Smiling. I think he's looking forward to this second half. He is smiling.
See for how long. The Bengals will have the ball to start the third quarter of play. Jason Starowski kicks off a high spinner for New England. Eric Ball and Stanford Jennings are back. So Stanford Jennings, he pauses for the moment, and he breaks it across the 20. This is the guy who ran back a kickoff for a touchdown in that Super Bowl against San Francisco. Stanford Jennings. Chris Singleton was down to make the tackle.
I was ready to run back and get there.
Now the Bengals are going to stay with their starters. Boomer Esiason comes back on the field. Those are pretty good numbers. I have great respect for this New England defense. Those are exceptional numbers against this defense.
Bengals have turned it over, not at all. Patriots with 3 turnovers. Comes out pitching. Whoa, that almost went in for 6.
Well, that's the way they're going to get back in the game.
Roland James making a play on the ball, and he almost had it.
There certainly is no reason for Roland James, Charlie Sumner, and the New England Patriots defense to be conservative. You see James 38 right out there, and looks like Singleton almost gets his hand on it. James does to knock it away, but if I were Charlie Sumner, I'd start taking chances with my defense to create that turnover.
New England has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. They last played in the regular season in 1988. Patriots won at Foxborough, intercepting Esiason 5 times. Green turns the corner on a 2nd down and 10, and he bowls ahead for a first down. Tim Gold, the nose tackle for the Patriots, knocked him out of bounds. But 6'2", 220-pound rookie Harold Green runs right into Charlie Sumner's defense for a first down.
Now, did you see that little move that Green made? Now watch when he dips in here a little bit. He sets up 2 blocks. That little step inside, boom. And all of a sudden, Rodney Holman has the outside position on the linebacker. You can't teach that. And Harold Green has that naturally. All great running backs do.
Our producer today for NBC Sports, Terry Ewert. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. Executive producer, Terry O'Neill. Just in the first minute of the third quarter. Bengals with the ball and a 31-7 lead. Green turns back and breaks it across the 40 on a first down carry. He's ahead for almost 10 yards. Rookie Ray Agnew, 92, finally brought him down.
You can see how much the Bengals have dominated with these possessions. 1 12-play drive. And where the drives have started, certainly been to their liking. This is not a defense that, this is not an offense that in the first 2 games of the season been able to go up and down the field. But today, oof, like New England's not even there.
Handoff to James Brooks. And he darts ahead down to out to the 44-yard line. First down, Bengals.
Here's the Patriots possession, and it's going to certainly reflect the 31-7 score. First play of the game was that interception. Fumble by Cook, fumble by Stevens. Not good. And out of character.
Bengals go into alignment. It looks disorganized, but it's very organized. Evidence enough the way it really outsmarted a very sound New England defense, this Bengal offense in the first half. Receivers running wide open all over the field. Here is James Brooks. Taken down in the backfield, coming up to force and give run support as the strong safety. 38, Roland James is now in his 11th year out of Tennessee. You see pick number 1 in the draft by the Patriots back in 1980.
Marion and Roland James have played 8 seasons to back there as the safeties, and you see Moyer, 73, tries to get a block on Roland James, and James jumps inside to make the tackle for a loss of about 1.5 yards.
Second down and 12 now for Cincinnati.
Audible again.
Big left-hander, Boomer Esiason, gives it straight ahead on a run, and the Patriots shut it down quickly. Shooting the gap was Vincent Brown, 59. He was the first to make the hit. Then Johnny Rembert, 52, came in.
That's the play they scored the touchdown. Spread the defense, run the trap up the middle. That time the 2 linebackers, inside linebackers, and Brown and Rembert there to make the tackle. Well, the Bengals have to put it up here, 3rd down and a little over 10.
They need 11. 3rd down, Boomer on the sprint out. Throw and a catch. Tim McGee, they rule he's out of bounds, didn't have both feet in. So Boomer didn't make the connection there, but he's been making them all game long.
Right foot is out. Good call by the officials. Here's another way that the Patriots can get back in the ball game. Try to block the punt. They need a turnover any way they can possibly get it. Lee Johnson back. And if the Patriots have a punt block, now is a good time to try it.
Lee Johnson left foot's the punt, a high spiral. Irving Fryer fair catches it at the 20. And the Patriots will go on offense for the first time in the 3rd quarter. Back to live action now. Patriots have the ball. Opening play from scrimmage for them in the 3rd quarter. And John Stevens meets a lot of Bengal tacklers. Coming on hard was 59, Kevin Walker, a 3rd-year player from Maryland who grades out as maybe the best linebacker so far this season for Cincinnati.
Now we notice Mark Wilson, he's got a couple of butterfly bandages there on his right knuckle. I don't believe there are stitches in his hand, but he has certainly been harried a lot today, pressured all over the place. They did have a couple of stitches in his hand. Not bad numbers. It's just that interception to start the game that really hurt.
Hartley Dykes gets a quick out. And the Bengals converge on it quickly. And now while we have a moment, let's go back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
All right, Don, a sequence at the Astrodome where instant replay played a part. Here's Jack Trudeau of the Colts, back to throw, hits Billy Brooks at the back of the end zone. The officials say he didn't get both feet down, but they check with the replay official. Not enough evidence to overrule it. The call is sustained. Colts have to settle for the field goal and trail. 14-3, back to Cricky and Trumpet.
Not enough evidence. The evidence has been overwhelming here for the Cincinnati Bengals, and it is again on a 3rd down play. Patriots can't get there. John Stevens was hit on hard. Kevin Walker, number 59, and James Francis, the rookie, both combined on the stop, forcing the Patriots to punt the ball.
You see when he hesitates right here, play is destroyed. Walker makes the first hit. Francis cleans up on the end of it. And the second half starts where the Patriots can't sustain a drive.
Patriots coming in with a 1-1 record. Bengals leading the AFC Central with a 2-0 mark. They were the only AFC. Here's a bad snap. And Hansen is taken down at the 6-yard line. Tua Tagovailoa was the man there to get him.
Don, that did not appear to be a bad snap. A snap that can't be handled. But when the day is going wrong for your football team, I mean, it shows in a lot of ways, and under normal circumstances, Hansen handles this. That's not a bad snap. Tua Tagovailoa is the first one in there. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. See, it's off center. It's snapped by Villa, the offensive tackle.
Boy, old Nate Tua Tagovailoa is back there as fast as the ball.
Threw him to the turf, too, didn't he?
Yeah. So now the Bengals go first and goal, and they're getting down close as Green gets down to the 5-yard line. First down carry. It'll be second and goal from the 5. Johnny Rembert and Ronnie Lepet were on the stop.
There's Hansen on the sideline, and you don't expect things like that to happen, but I repeat, I think Villa snapped that ball. It was certainly off target, but that's one that Ryan Hansen can normally handle. It pretty much is a signature for the way the day has gone for the Patriots.
Boomer throws incomplete. Another standout play fake, though, Trump. He froze everybody.
Fake was to Harold Green. Pass was to Rodney Holman in the middle of all kinds of people there.
Look at the scoreboard. Not a whole lot changing. Minnesota gets a bit closer at Chicago with its 3rd field goal of the day. Cleveland continues to lead San Diego. And now Dallas has tied up Washington. Remember, the only win for the Cowboys last year came at Washington in an upset of the Redskins. Houston holding that 14-3 lead. Cardinals and Saints are tied. Bengals looking to extend their lead to 38-7. Broken up. Tyson with the straight ahead throw. Fred Marion, number 31, got a hand on the ball. 9-year veteran out of Miami of Florida at free safety for New England.
Well, the New England Patriot defense has done a decent job of stopping the Bengals when they got down on the goal lines after the first drive. The Bengals had to resort to a pass from field goal formation to score their first touchdown. They've made it tough for them to get into the end zone, so you have to give the defense credit there.
Jim Breech, who on his first field goal attempt of the day became the NFL's all-time leader in consecutive games he scored in, 152. It's another one. And the Bengals extend their lead to 34-7 and will kick off when we come back. Two young ladies making kind of a combined Buckeye-Bengal fashion statement there. As the Bengals kick off, leading 34-7. Sammy Martin fields it inside his 15. Gets to the 31-yard line. Patriots will try again as we check now the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Numbers not changing. Giants continue to lead the Miami Dolphins off to their 2-0 start. Kansas City won at Green Bay last year in December, 21-3. San Diego has now gone in front of the Cleveland Browns 17-14. As we mentioned earlier, Trump, these Bengal coaches think San Diego's terrific even though they're 0-2. Houston extends its lead on Indianapolis to 14 points. Mark Wilson gets time, lofts one downfield that McMurtry catches nicely. Good for a first down to the 41-yard line.
Wilson got hammered again. James Francis was all over him. John Stevens was the man assigned to Francis in the pass protection. Francis runs right over him. This is a well caught ball. Carter is the man in coverage, 45. And watch Francis right there to the left. Running over John Stevens is no small feat.
7:30 to go, third quarter. Wilson throws, hits an open man. On a first down play, his receiver, Eric Sievers, is out to the 49-yard line, a gain of about 6 or 7 yards on the play. David Fulcher and Carl Zander were on the tackle.
Well, now the Bengals have to get their minds back in this game offensively and defensively. And the Patriots are helping in the last 4 seasons. You see the numbers there, but I don't want the New England Patriots to sneak back on them here.
Eric Sievers coming off a big year a season ago, his best as a pro. Second and a long three. Down line throw. It's a connection. The ball is caught by Eric Sievers, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Fulcher ran him out of bounds, but the Patriots starting to open up a little bit in the passing game now and make some connection.
Nice pattern run. This is an out and up. Ends up being a 25-yard completion. Sievers comes across in motion and runs the little drag to the outside, but he turned it up. Wilson had plenty of time to throw it. Nice completion. Good drive here for New England.
Blitz, penalty marker, and the play is whistled dead. Marv Cook caught it, but it was negated by the whistle before the snap. That stops the Gamecock with 6:18.
Ball start, number 78 White. Still first down.
Armstrong, left tackle with a false start. 6:18 to go in the third quarter.
I think we'll see it right inside of McMurtry 86. You see Armstrong again rolling back. Last year he was a right tackle. Now they move him to left tackle, and he is still in the right tackle stance. That is, his inside hand is down. He's a good enough athlete that he can accept the outside pass rush. This time he's up in the 2-point.
First down and 15. And out, and a good tackle by Barney Bussey, number 27. Eric Sievers got the ball again, his third reception of the third quarter. His only 3 receptions of the game.
Good pressure, game run up front. You saw a hit 71. Hammerstein right there in Mark Wilson's face, but the catch by Sievers for very little yardage, and Bussey there for the tackle. Well, they got to get the ball down the field, and that's what they've done in this drive. They got to continue to do that.
Second down and 14. Out pattern. Nice break up. Carl Carter, fifth-year cornerback from Texas Tech, got there right on time. The intended receiver was Hartley Dykes.
Good closing ability by Carl Carter, the man that they traded for in the preseason, and his team made 3 trades. Cincinnati did in the preseason. They have made 3 trades in 10 years, and they make 3 trades in about 2 weeks.
They had cornerback problems. One of their best, Eric Thomas, is out for the season with a knee injury. Phillips held out the whole training camp. Ricky Dixon was out 4 weeks with a knee injury. Intercepted by Barney Bussey. And he's got it back to the 31-yard line for Cincinnati.
Wilson did not see him. Intended for John Stevens, and Barney Bussey was standing right there waiting for the ball to be thrown. Did not move, and Wilson throws the ball right to him.
Back to Cincinnati after this. Bengals set to go now. First down and 10 at their 31-yard line. Eddie Brown in motion. Got that early touchdown pass. Green running hard. Big rookie back. He's out to the 35-yard line, gain of 3.
Now we go back to the interception. Watch Barney Bussey. He's locked on in coverage with John Stevens. Well, John Stevens pass protects. So that frees up Barney Bussey, and right there to make the interception. 4th turnover of the day that the Patriots have given up. 2nd interception, 2 fumbles. That one you just have to give to the defense. Dick LeBeau outsmarted the New England Patriots on that play.
Hit Barney right in a good place, huh? Right in the hands. Didn't have to move for it. Second down and 6 now. James Brooks cut down. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up when we go back. But first we're going to go to NFL Live and Bob Costas.
Well, in Cleveland, Billy Joe Tolliver, after having one of his early passes intercepted and run back for a touchdown by Mike Johnson of the Browns, is on the beam. This is the second of his 2 touchdown passes to Anthony Miller, who is one of the game's great young wide receivers. Miller hauls this one in for a 23-yard score, and in the third, at Cleveland, the Chargers lead 17-14.
Thank you, Bob. Interesting. The Browns now have to go on the road for 3 tough games. He started the day 1-1. They're down. Tyson needs 4. Gets the ball away to Eddie Brown, but they're going to rule he was in the grass back at the 30. It will count as a sack. And where Brown caught it and was down, he was not far enough for a first down. Singleton got Boomer Esiason, the rookie linebacker Chris Singleton, 55.
He was definitely in the grass, too. Protection starts out good. See, he's missed there, and then Singleton wraps on. Boomer still has the presence to throw that ball down the field, but the sack counts. So Lee Johnson in punt.
Irving Fryer into return. We asked him last night, does he mind returning punts? He said, yeah, I mind, but it's part of the deal.
Yeah. But he did say this is his last year of returning punts. And part of the deal is I'll return them this year, but next year I'm done.
34-7. Bengals continue to lead, and we'll be back. Right now on first down, it goes to Eric Sievers. A throw from Mark Wilson out to the 41-yard line.
Sievers has had good opportunity here. As look, the Patriots are going with the hurry-up offense with 2:52 to go in the third quarter.
Blitz comes. Fulcher, they pick him up. He gets the ball away. Again goes to Seaver from the hot area where the strong safety was blitzing from.
Barney Bussey was again the man in coverage. And now the Patriots go back to the huddle.
On the Hertz 10-minute ticker, the Giants continue to lead, as do the Kansas City Chiefs. Bears now the 7-point advantage over the Vikings. Billy Joe Tolliver with his second touchdown pass of the day to Anthony Miller. Houston up 17-3. Saints leading. 3rd and 4 for Wilson and the Patriots. Open man, and it's lost. John Stevens had his hands on the ball but couldn't hold it. Solomon Wilcox, who's made some big plays, was defending.
Again, the high percentage throw short, run long offense of Jimmy Ray down 34-7 is in real trouble here. They've got big play receivers, but I think they're trying to protect their quarterback, Mark Wilson. They don't want any more pass pressure on him than they're already getting.
Hansen hits the punt. Good spiral downfield. Mitchell Price gets under it. Boom. And it's Cincinnati's ball, and Mitchell Price somehow gets up like nothing happened.
Did you hear that? Oh. Goodness.
Eric Coleman stuck him. Number 22, a second-year defensive back from Wyoming.
Well, I didn't see a fair catch signal.
Wasn't any.
Well, that's perfect timing. That's a legal hit. There's no question about that. Price kind of goes down to catch the ball, and it gets right to the helmet of Coleman, and luckily the Bengals recover. What a crash and burn.
Carl Carter, who was up for the up back to block, got on the ball. Patriots would have had their best field position to start any drive, but Cincinnati keeps the ball. Both these teams missed the playoffs last year. New England at 5-11, missed them by a lot. As Esiason looks to throw on first down, they're going to get him from behind. Running him down was Vincent Brown.
I don't know why they put their quarterback in jeopardy here. I mean, they have not run the ball well in the first 2 weeks of the season, and leading 34-7 certainly seems to me that this is a perfect time. Brent Williams on the tackle.
Got him.
A perfect time to try to find out about that running game. I mean, look, this team without Boomer Esiason, nowhere close to the kind of team it is with him. Can't put him in that jeopardy.
Esiason with a fastball intercepted. Johnny Rembert has the ball for New England, and he's back to the 20-yard line.
Maurice Hurst tipped the ball away, intended for Tim McGee. Hurst keeps it up in the air. Rembert comes up with the interception. Watch Hurst. Good closing coverage again. Gets it up in the air. Rembert right there to make the interception. And obviously the best field position of the day for the New England Patriots if they can take advantage of it. This is the only way the Patriots can get back in the game, and Bengals are helping them.
Johnny Rembert, 52. He's been a standout ever since he's come into the league from Clemson 8 years ago. He's been in the Pro Bowl the last 2 years. Stevens straight ahead. Bengals shut it down. Mike Hammerstein. 71 was on the stop, along with James Francis. The Bengals were the only team in the AFC Central that didn't make the playoffs last year. Cleveland, Houston, and Pittsburgh all got there.
Yeah, and they had the best division record, too. 5-1, the Bengals did. Didn't make the playoffs.
But as we mentioned at the outset, the 2 previous times in the 80s that the Bengals got off to 2-0 starts in 1981 and 1988, they went to the Super Bowl both seasons. So there's a lot to be optimistic about. They're off to a 3-0 start. They're going to be after today's game. Barring a miraculous comeback, here is a throw and a drop. Hart Lee had his hands on it, but Dykes couldn't hold on.
And the next 2 weeks for the Bengals are going to be very, very critical for them because they've got a trip to Seattle and a trip to Los Angeles to play the Rams. And this one is just behind Hartley. Dykes and can't make the reception. Todd Philcox warming up on the sideline. Maybe we've seen the last of Boomer Assassin. Maybe not.
The 34-7 lead you would think you had, at least for this day.
Or at least if you're going to have Boomer in there, hand it off to the running backs.
Third down. They need 8. Up the middle, and a terrific defensive play by the rookie James Francis. Dropping back in coverage. Francis, who was the 12th player drafted in the first round. He was the 6th man on the Baylor basketball team also. He slaps it away, a reject.
Cook was the intended receiver, the tight end. The minute the football season was over at Baylor, he went right into basketball. Didn't weight train. This kid is a raw rookie. They don't know how good this kid might be.
They know he's big. 6'6", 250.
4th down. Patriots going for it.
They need 8. There's a throw, and it's broken up, incomplete, and the Bengals take over the ball.
Rod Jones was there.
Big ovation for the Bengal D, which came into the game somewhat maligned, ranking only 27th out of 28 teams in the NFL.
Quick setup by Mark Wilson, and he frankly throws it right into a lot of coverage. You'll see a lot of people there. Fryer was the intended receiver. Rod Jones hits it first. Ricky Dixon is there. Phillips is there. Real party.
And first down, the carry goes to Harold Green. He's out to the 22-yard line, gain of 4. Rookie Ray Agnew is on the stop.
Well, Esiason's still in the ball game, and maybe now they start handing it off on a regular basis.
Esiason in his 7th year, as we mentioned. He was the MVP in the NFL in 1988. 29 years old, out of Maryland. And that'll do it for 3 quarters of play as the Bengals in the 3rd quarter extend their lead to 34-7. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Paul Brown, the general manager of the Bengals and one of the owners on the left there. Age 82, keeping a close watch on things, as is Patriots owner Victor Kiam. Bengals have the ball. 2nd down and 5. Wing pass goes to Green. Well, Green's out of bounds at the 30. A gain on the play of about 7 yards.
Not a bad display of some speed there. It certainly looked like both Vincent Brown. Now watch this when he catches this ball. It looks like the 90 Garen Veras has a chance at him. He just outruns him up the sideline for a 1st down pickup. They're impressive.
start. You were part of 2 of those.
Yes, I was. 69 and 75.
An integral part, I might add.
Back before the stripes.
Ed Williams, 54, was on the stop.
Again, staying with their same game plan, I guess. It appeared to me that Craig Taylor, number 20, had the pass protection on Ed Williams, and Williams just threw him down. That's the 4th sack of the day now by the Patriots on Boomer Esiason.
(34-7). Bengals with the ball and the lead. 31-0 lead early in the game. Was over before it was over. Straight ahead give, and running with the ball out close to the 25-yard line is Craig Taylor, a big back from West Virginia. The Bengals are also going to get another standout runner back, Ickey Woods, who's missed over a year now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he had that serious knee injury like game 2 of the '89 season. Then he had a car accident, had reconstructive surgery on his knee. There he is, ponytails and all. Elbert Ickey Woods.
Kind of that famous Ickey dance.
The shuffle.
Ickey shuffle. Sam White said he has worked and worked and worked to rehab, and he's ready to come back. He said he could probably play now. Singleton almost gets Esiason. Boomer throws on the run and hits a wide open Tim McGee for a first down. Out to the 46-yard line. Maurice Hurst was defending.
Well, the one thing about Boomer Esiason throughout his career, Don, is that he never gives up on a play. He and John Elway are the 2 quarterbacks that I believe you can never stop attacking Boomer Esiason, because he's always looking for the guy downfield. Big, strong, can break a tackle, and still makes the completion, throws the ball well on the run. Unbelievably difficult to defend against a guy like that.
Tim McGee very quietly building up some big numbers. Here's a pitch back, trick play. Down the sideline throw to James Brooks. Patriots in position all over the field to defend that.
Interesting choice of plays. And they run the triple pass. The primary receiver there is the tight end Rodney Holman, but Patriots were way back in coverage. Sweep, they fake the reverse. Boomer gets it, tight end coverage. So they look for the outlet receiver. That kept me in the game.
That was your play, wasn't it?
I love that play. I would run that in the rain. Interesting choice to run it there. You put it in on the film, so the other teams have to worry about it from that formation. Just make them think about something else, as if this offense isn't complicated enough.
Craig Taylor to the 47. Sam White's displaying a very fine Bengal jacket here today. Bengal stripes.
He's the NFL property's poster boy. Whatever they produce, he wears proudly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And frankly, he said the more we show it.
Whoa, McGee's open. Tim McGee down to the 3.
"51 yards on the catch." Boomer Esiason throws it perfectly. Maurice Hurst was the man in coverage last week. Eddie Brown has 10 catches for over 150 yards, and today it's Tim McGee, 164. So many offensive weapons.
Number 78 is an eligible position.
Okay, that was a thing of beauty, though. A perfect throw. It hit him right in stride. That was a tough catch. McGee on the dead run. He runs the 100 in about 9.2, 100 yards. Boomer looks. Holman's open. Touchdown, Bengals.
That's not a bad day's work. Holman in motion, and this is a pick. But 37 Hurst gets caught up in watching the play action. Here's the McGee. Look at this ball. Tight spiral. 51 yards on the completion. And frankly, that's not bad coverage by Maurice Hurst. Just laces up right over the shoulder. Nothing to it.
was nice. And the extra point is good again as the Bengals extend their lead now to 41-7. They led at halftime 31-7. We're back for the Bengals kickoff. Downfield is taken by Sammy Martin in the end zone. 15. Sammy comes to an abrupt halt at the 24 as we'll check the scoreboard now. The 10-minute ticker. 1 o'clock game's on the fourth quarter. Giants extend their lead over Miami to 14 points. Kansas City just got a field goal from Lowry to go up by 7 on the Packers at Green Bay. Bears leading by 7. San Diego continues to lead the Browns at Cleveland, and Washington having a tough time with the Cowboys at Washington. Houston a leader, as is New Orleans. Here the Bengals are a leader and have been almost in the first minute of the game, leading the New England Patriots 41-7.
Don, the Patriots are spending a lot of time in the huddle. I would be a bit surprised if they go with the hurry-up offense here again. Mark Wilson calling more than one play.
Cook dives ahead, close to a first down.
And they are going back to the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Ray and Rod Russ going to try to learn a little more about this football team. Put them in the hurry up.
9-yard gain on the pass play. 2nd down and 1. Mark Wilson looks again, finds John Stevens. Stevens is down at the 44-yard line. Kevin Walker running him out.
Patriots that time very lucky a flag wasn't thrown. Hartley Dykes was blocking as the ball was in the air.
First down, New England.
For this, the starting quarterback since 1987 in New England: Grogan, Eason, Flutie, Wilson, Tom Ramsey, Bob Blyer, whoever he is in the strike games.
I wonder where Bob Blyer might
Not
be.
Rocky, is it?
No. I think they're related, but I wonder. There's Steve Grogan on the sideline. This is a good game to miss.
Grogan started out in 75, and there was a quarterback controversy then with Jim Plunkett. Downfield throw to Hartley Dykes, who somehow catches the ball.
That's
Lewis
Fryer.
Phillips upended him, but Dykes is down.
That's Fryer. Irving Fryer.
Excuse me. Irving shaken up, but he got it and held on.
There's also a flag down, holding against New England. Boy, he pays the price here. Goes up to get it. Phillips cuts his legs out from underneath him, and the
360.
first thing that hits is his head. That is so dangerous. I don't like looking at that in slow motion. He gets up though.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Like that kid in Buffalo, Don Beebe, in the AFC playoff game at Cleveland. Upend came squarely down on his head. Gene Chilton was called for holding the center. Patriots didn't move the ball last week at Indianapolis. They made a change at center. They moved Chilton over there, and they said he played a standout game. Really helped get the running game going. We have 9:49 to play now. Fourth quarter. Patriots trying to get something on the board in a game that was lost a long time ago. They're down 41-7. Downfield throw and a nice tip. Coming over to make the play was Leo Barker, number 53.
Again, Wilson pressured several people in his face, and he couldn't quite get all the steam he wanted on the ball, so Barker was there to tip it away. Now you'll see the people around his legs and feet. Again, 27 Bussey was there, intended for Marv Cook, the tight end. Just tipped away. See, Francis 50 is there. Ernie Bussey comes in late, number 27. People all over Mark Wilson today.
Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, he'll see his defense move up in the ratings. They were 27th starting week 3. Downfield throw, and Hartley Dykes comes back at the ball. Lewis Phillips was covering.
No question that their idea was to pick on Lewis Phillips today. Every pass that they've thrown has gone that way. That's 10 yards there.
Feast or famine the last 2 seasons. Bengals win the blowouts. Have had trouble in close games. Losing 3 of 4, decided by a field goal or less.
5-man defensive front here with a 6th man on the blitz. Sack. They're going to call it a sack.
They'll rule the sack back at the 35-yard line. 290-pound Skip McClendon was in, as was Jason Buck, number 99.
Pressure coming from all over the place. McClendon on the outside. He beats Danny Villa. And that's supposedly grasp and control. Yeah, you see Wilson going backwards. So the sack by the Bengals. Third of the day. Given up 4, gotten 3.
Hansen punts the ball downfield. Mitchell Price will return it for Cincinnati. Out to the 41-yard line. So the Bengals have it 1st and 10 when we come back with 8:40 to play. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where the Bengals are en route to their 3rd win without defeat this season. Todd Philcox is in at quarterback now. First-year player from Syracuse, was a developmental squad player a year ago. Greg Taylor turns the corner, and he's taken down at the 44-yard line.
Don, I think the Bengals can, when this game is finished, and certainly the final result is not in doubt at all, I think they'll look back at this first half and say that's about as perfect a half as they could play. They got 3 turnovers from the defense. The Bengals produced 10 points from the turnovers. They moved up and down the football field. They scored 31 points in the first half. I mean, you can't play much better in a half of football than they played today.
Had a good time, Trump, to get off to a 3-0 start. Now their next 5 games are on the road. At Seattle, at Los Angeles, then at Houston. That game has been switched here from Cincinnati because the Reds are doing so well and look to be in the playoffs.
Magic number is 6.
We don't want to put him in yet, right?
Magic number is 6, and they won a doubleheader last night from San Diego. But yes, if they do make the playoffs, games 1 and 2 are here, and 5 and 6 are here. The Bengals will have to go to a place they hate, the Houston Astrodome. There's a couple of old names there. Greg Cook, Sam Whites, Ken Anderson. Of course, with Cook and Whites, there was no such thing as a quarterback rating back then, but Sam wasn't bad for the short amount of time he played.
Third down and 12. A handoff straight ahead. The Bengals mercifully run the ball on the clock. 7:30 to play. Cincinnati in the lead, 41-7. They led 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. They led 31-7 at the half. 34-7 at the end of 3 quarters. Now they've extended it to 41-7.
This is not something that I think anyone expected. You don't normally blow out the New England Patriots.
Punt downfield. Irving Fryer. They're catching the ball at the 22.
He's fair caught them all. You know that? He has not run one back today.
So the Patriots will try once again on offense when we come back. Mark Wilson, his passing numbers for the day. The first interception coming on the first play from scrimmage. That was the turning point of the game, really. Soon after they had a field goal to the Bengals and they rolled on. Marv Cook on an over-the-middle catch is out to the 30-yard line. Some changes on the scoreboard now as we check the 10-minute ticker. Now they're going into a hurry-up offense. As soon as we have a chance, we'll look at the scoreboard. Vikings have tied up the Bears at Chicago. Out pattern. Complete to Marv Cook for a first down. 6.5 minutes to go. Clock is running. Mark Wilson and the Bengals, or the Patriots, into the hurry-up offense. Somehow lost the handle, and somehow the Bengals seem to have found it.
Carter gets it. 5th turnover of the day. Boy, that thing has been slippery for New England. Catches the ball well. He just puts it in his right hand, carries it like the proverbial loaf of bread that coaches used to talk about, and the thing pops loose. Well, this started a long time ago, but Rod Russ can't like any part of this football game.
Perryman, who's usually fumble-free, loses the handle, and the Bengals take over the ball at the 31-yard line of New England. Coach Rust and the Patriots heading back to Boston back to the drawing board. They have the Jets coming into Foxborough next Sunday. Wilcox. Throw. Intercepted. Flag down. Maurice Hurst has the pickoff. His third of the season. He had 2 last week against Indianapolis. He loses it. But it goes out of bounds.
Mike Barber was the intended receiver, and he was not open. He was absolutely not open. Wilcox should not have thrown that ball.
Offensive pass interference, number 86, Cincinnati. Penalty is declined. First down.
That's on Barber. He ran the pattern. He was the primary receiver, and Wilcox should not have thrown it. Watch this coverage. You can see him grabbing a hold of the jersey of Maurice Hurst. Ends up being a 26-yard return, so the Patriots get it right back. Barber comes back and knocks the ball away, but New England keeps it.
Wilson gets it away under pressure from Hammerstein. It'll go as an incomplete pass. The Hammer from Michigan in his 5th year.
Remarkable that he's even playing. Total knee reconstruction 2 years ago. 15 years ago, some of these guys that are now playing and playing well in the NFL, they count it as a sack. That's the 4th of the day for the Bengals. Excuse me, make that the 5th of the day for the Bengals. But 15 years ago, a lot of these guys that are playing and playing well, their careers would have been over. Hammer would have been one of them.
The Jets-Patriots game at Foxborough next Sunday, a 4 o'clocker, as here's a sack. Barney Bussey coming on a strong safety blitz, number 27.
That's 6. In the preseason game that Cincinnati and New England played in New England, they got 7 quarterback sacks. And Mark Wilson has no chance here. Bussey is untouched. You see John Stevens, looked like the guy assigned to him, but Bussey was on Wilson. See 27. Stevens tries to get around there, but Wilson has no chance. 7 sacks. Excuse me, 6 sacks. A lot of sacks today.
Stay tuned now.
Yeah, a lot of sacks today.
7 could be coming as they come with a blitz again. Yep. There's 7. No, he gets it away.
Well, left-handed, he threw it.
Whatever it takes. John Stevenson running up the middle of the field. He's out to the 38-yard line. That was on a 3rd and 28 play, though, so this brings up 4th and 10. Now it's been going for the Patriots. When they break a big play, it still isn't enough.
Yes, look at this. This time, Hammerstein all over him, and he throws it left-handed. That's much more of a shot put left-handed. 17-yard completion.
I'd go back to it, Trump.
Absolutely. He's 1 for 1 left-handed.
Go back to it. Absolutely. We like it.
Timeout.
Doesn't matter what it looks like. 4:03 left to play and a timeout on the field. Mr. Trumpy, review these scores if you would. Look at the 10-minute ticker. Giants beat the Dolphins soundly. Kansas City's good, right? Go ahead.
They are. Minnesota's come back now to tie Chicago 16-16 in the 4th. San Diego extends its lead over Cleveland 24-14. Washington finally catching Dallas's number. Houston up big on Indianapolis, and New Orleans no problem with Phoenix. Here 41-7.
Bengals sent their fans home early. This is a tough ticket. Everything is sold out in Cincinnati. On downfield by Hansen. Mitchell Price.
That young man doesn't like the fair catch signal, does he? You got a flag down on the field down at the line of scrimmage. .42-yard punt. Tagaloa says it's against New England. Illegal man downfield.
So 22 guys who at this point would like to be somewhere else head back to punt it again.
5 yards, still 4th down.
There's Rod Rust on the sideline right behind the marker, and they're already making plans for next week. And frankly, they could have started a lot earlier than now.
That division, though, that AFC East, 8-8 might win that.
Oh, how about Buffalo? Get shut out by Miami.
Last week, Buffalo, yeah, 31-0. And then the bickering Bills continue. You see the Oilers game. That's going to be at Houston. Well, we think it's going to be at Houston. Has it been officially moved? Not yet. Oh, it has? We have contrasting opinions up here. Mr. Trump, he doesn't seem to know.
No,
I don't know.
I have not heard whether there's anything official, but it all depends on the Cincinnati Reds. I haven't heard that official.
Last week there was a typographical error last in the first week on the 3 deep card that goes to the press. They had Jim Scow, who'd been traded 2 weeks earlier, starting a defensive end. Sam White said, I saw that. I looked down at the bottom to see if they still had Forrest Gregg as coach.
Yeah, but Sam White is still the head coach.
In his 7th year. Hopefully now the Bengals, in their wisdom, will run the ball. Look to pass. Wilcox swept under.
That is another sack for the New England Patriots.
NFL Live kicks off the 4th Sunday of play at 12:30 Eastern Time. 1 o'clock games include Miami at Pittsburgh, Denver at Buffalo, Browns and the Chiefs at Kansas City. This Kansas City's got a good club.
Yes, they are. As long as Christian McCoy can carry the ball.
Here's the trio that will lead it off with NFL Live. And up by Taylor from West Virginia out to the 29-yard line. Bengals helping up Patriots.
8-yard carry there by Craig Taylor. We've got some Patriots sloganing up. Fred Marion is still on the turf.
Starting free safety Fred Marion being attended to. That'll stop the clock with 2:58 to play. Tonight on NBC, it's a double good. That's Camp Cucamonga, and then She Said No tonight on NBC. Trumpy is trying to get him to start the movies early.
Yes, you can watch the first segment to commercial here.
Steve Grogan in 007, Big Lou, had a security in the white jacket.
Maybe he should have played today. Lou
was unable to protect the quarterback.
Yes.
Stanford Jennings, the veteran from Furman, runs the ball to the 29-yard line. Clock will run down as the Bengals send out their punting unit. Johnny Rembert on the tackle.
Let the clock go to 2 minutes.
We're just informed it's official. The games will be switched. The Houston-Cincinnati game if the Reds win. So again, we have a what-if situation.
Isn't that what we said? The other alternative was in the bye week, Cincinnati and Houston play. That's one of the things that they were considering. That's been forgotten, and it still depends on the Reds.
2 minutes.
2-minute warning here at Cincinnati. We're still here. We have 2 minutes to play. The Bengals with a 41-7 lead. About as good as it gets for Cincinnati, looking at that perspective, Trump.
You didn't think we'd leave. We got to stay here to the bitter end, just like New England and Cincinnati.
Lee Johnson hits a high punt downfield. Irving Fryer fair catches another. He lets it go, but he signaled for a fair catch. It hops in and it'll come out to the 20. First down and 10. So
I'm still here.
It hasn't been easy today for the Patriots. We'll see where they go from here. They're certainly a team that they need Grogan. Obviously, he's just played great football for them this year, and he wasn't in the lineup today because of a bruised neck suffered last week.
Yeah, but you know, Don, I don't think the injury to Grogan was a huge factor today. There was just no verve in the New England Patriots. They just didn't have any life when they came out.
Lost their gusto, didn't they?
They lost their gusto, and they lost it early. And then after that, they lost it often. 5 turnovers today.
Tommy Hotson's now in the game. Rookie quarterback from LSU set all that school's passing records. A 3rd-round draft choice for the Bengals of LSU. Very highly regarded player. Big, 6'4", 215 pounds. Mark Wilson, who's even bigger. He's almost 6'6". Out pattern. Nice throw by Hodson. He makes the connection out to the 33-yard line.
The defensive backs are able to keep him in bounds, too, so the clock continues to run.
Hartley Dykes makes the catch for a 13-yard gain and a 1st down.
That was Carl Carter on the stop as they go right back to the line of scrimmage. Try to salvage something out of this disaster.
Tommy Hodson with the drop. They give him some time. Now he runs out of it. He can move also. Slides ahead for a 1st down.
Well, he's
Close to it.
He's learned that quarterback trick, the hook slide for the 1st down.
Tell you, 2 plays. This guy looks pretty good.
Well, they're going to mark him short of the 1st down. New England takes the timeout. They're going to have a 2nd and short here.
The Bengals have sacked Mark Wilson 6 times today, so they finally got a rush. Scores are in. Giants win, as do the Kansas City Chiefs. Chicago Bears on a late field goal beat the Vikings. San Diego in command of the Browns at Cleveland. Washington continues to lead Dallas. We go back to live action. Tommy Hodson throws down the run. Irving Fryer with a nice catch for a 1st down out to the 47-yard line. Another timeout.
Of course. Trying to utilize the hurry-up offense.
So we'll be back for the concluding 51. What? Apparently they're going to go to
Illegal use of hands. Number 72 to the face mask.
no timeout.
Penalty is declined. 1st down.
That's Skip McClendon going to the head of the offensive tackle. So 1st down.
Incomplete at the 44-yard line. Barney Bussey, who's had a good day, broke it up. He's been in a lot for David Fulcher, who had a knee problem. The all-pro strong safety.
Ball intended for McMurtry. McMurtry does a good job to break up the interception, frankly.
.47 seconds to go. Tommy Hodson takes it himself. Slides down at the 46-yard line. Gain of about 7 yards on the play. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Producer of today's game, Terry Ewert. Director, Andy Rosenberg. Associate producer, John Gilmartin. We're down to 23 seconds left to play. Patriots about to go 1-2 on the season. Oh, and a catch. Our Cook takes it down with 14 seconds to play. And the Bengals about to embark on 5 games on the road, off to a great start. 3-0. Boomer Esiason had a good day.
Had an excellent day. He got pressured. Mark Wilson didn't have a bad day, but he was pressured to the point where he threw a couple of interceptions. First start since the last game of 1989. The Patriots were just mentally never in this football game, Don, from the outset.
First play from scrimmage was a pass by Wilson, intercepted by Lewis Phillips, and that was really the end at the beginning. Here's a throw and a catch. Don Overton, a rookie, takes it. He's down to the 25-yard line. And the Patriots call timeout, or do they? Yes, they do, with 1 second left. Now they had none left. They tried to. It's over, so Esiason and the Bengals and Coach Sam White come away as victors by a 41-7 count. Rod Rust, the coach, shake hands. So the Bengals up to a great start, 3-0. got to be buoyed by this performance today, and the Patriots have to get it back together. We'll be coming back to Riverfront Stadium in a moment. Back at Cincinnati, the Bengals a dominant victor today over the New England Patriots 41-7. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. And Trump, as you know, these Bengals have a history. When they get off to a fast start, they have a fast finish.
Yeah, they needed this 3-0 start too because of the upcoming away games, and they got a lot of things that they wanted today. They got pressure on Mark Wilson, the quarterback. They didn't run the ball great, but they got the big plays on the offense. New England certainly helped. I am of the opinion that they were never mentally in this game, and it was over early, 31-7 at half, and it wasn't even that close.
Well, that'll do it. That's the story from New England losing here today at Cincinnati, 41-7. Next Sunday, it's NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. And some of you will see the Dolphins take on the Steelers, while others will see the Broncos meet the Bills. And in the second half of the doubleheader, Kansas City hosts Cleveland, while the Jets travel to New England. Coming up next, NFL Live, and Bob Costas updates you on the rest of the scores